Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Simrigs.com OOR Sprint Series. Back for another season, final season of 2024. I am Sean Muller, and I will be bringing you all the action this evening from the awesome Split Blue, and of course, later this evening, the one and only Split Red, as we are out on track for qualifying now. And we are at Watkins, Glen. We are in upstate New York, everyone. So everyone turn your notices up, right near the Hamptons. Jolly good there, old chaps. And we are looking at Mr. Horsburgh on the screen at the moment in that beautiful, we won't say that, the Martin. We'll go with the Martin McLaren there, looking very nice. So yeah, Watkins, Glen, great track. Really complicated, sort of really nice flowing track, probably except for the third last corner, which is other track. It's got some really cool corner names as well, except for the last three corners when obviously they had Smoko and decided we're not going to name those corners. And look at that, look at the timing. And we are going to introduce to the box the one and only, my good friend, Sean Bubdow. Hello, Sean.
Good evening. Thank you for the reminder that I actually had a job to do tonight.
Look, it happens.
Look, there's been a little bit on the plate. There was much sadness the other week because I was meant to race last night, but you know, the wheels on my pins. I was going to say the pins on my wheel decided to not be pins on the wheel anymore. So
it happens.
There was that.
But it's good to see you've come across to the good brand now. So well done.
I'm now part of the big boy club.
Yes, exactly. So we're looking at Breno Ellis there currently on screen. Currently top of the timesheets with a 1:43.7 with 8 minutes remaining in quali. We've got a couple of yellow flags there out near the start-finish straight as he heads up through the S's now. Fantastic part of the circuit this. Heading onto the back straight. Again, I don't know why it's called that, but anyway. And heading down towards the inner loop. Again, something else why I don't know it's called the inner loop, because that looks like a chicane to me, but alright. Then into the outer loop. Now that makes sense because it is a nice long radius, beautifully cambered corner, really fast through here, about 190 kilometers an hour. Then you brake really hard now down into the chute. Again, really fantastic corner. Love this part of the circuit. Really nice flow through here. Then up towards toe. Some of these names crack me up, seriously. Then down towards
you
the
even
boot.
know the names.
Well, of course I do. That's my job. I'll still stuff them up though, don't worry. Now down into heel. Again, this corner's probably the most trickiest on the track. This one and the next one coming up, which has got no name by the way. We're going to call it fungus. There we go.
No, let's call it the ankle because it looks like it's the part at the back of the ankle.
Oh,
Achilles.
Yeah,
we'll call it the Achilles.
The Achilles, I like it. Will it be someone's Achilles tonight? Bada big, and we're off and racing. And then, of course, the final corner of the track, an absolute beauty of a final corner as well. You can really take a lot of speed through there. About at 170 on the exit. And is this going to move Ellis up the timesheets? It does with a 43.350. Very nice.
There's some speedy times. I know that when I was doing some practice before, you know, the sadness happened, I was only doing like mid 44s. So the fact that these are in the low 43s, please explain how to do the fast thing. I want to know.
Press both pedals and steer left and right. There you go. Top tier.
At the same time?
Yeah, I know. So here is Ellis currently top of the timesheets, followed by Reynolds, Burton, Comboy, Monks, Murphy, Babel, Vettiger. Ooh, Boxall pops himself up in the 8th position now in the big Mustang, top of the Pro-Am. So nice job there by Boxy. Vettiger there in 9th, and Johnson there in 10th currently, as we've got 5 minutes 50 remaining in quali. Ambient temp 25 degrees, track temp 33 degrees, bright sunshine. There is absolutely no reports of rain whatsoever. So we're in for a dry, fast race this evening. Of course, 60 minutes and no mandatory stops as well. So it is flag, which I think is going to provide some pretty spicy action.
Watkins is always good for some spicy action, especially with the field close the way it is. Like when there are a couple of people that are literally within hundredths of a second of each other. Obviously that was between Murphy and Babby there. They're basically nose to tail. So this track is sort of why we got a safety car in quali. I don't know, but thank you for the test. good old Glen and the hamsters doing their thing. We'll just enjoy that and move on. But yeah, Watkins has always been one of those things that if you nail like the first corner, then you're pretty much golden to the bus stop, and you really need to make sure you are getting in tow to actually attempt an overtake. Other than that, you sort of got to just wait for someone to make a mistake, but just it's always good close racing.
It certainly is. It's probably one of the better American tracks. I'd probably put it in the top 2 or 3 in America. It's just, yeah, it's got a really good flow to it. And probably up there with Road America, maybe Road Atlanta, maybe Simona, probably the 4 big ones, and Laguna Seca, of course, but that's more iconic than great. So we're getting to that final stage of quality now. As you can see on screen there, we've actually got a little bit of graphic there that shows us where the corner names are. Oh, no, actually you can't see that. We can. That's good for us. Oh, well, I can.
How come you can see it?
Look, I get all the special toys. As
we are... You're the special one, mate. Oh, well, if I open my eyes, then I probably can bloody... Jesus Christ.
As we are looking at looking at the pixel racer here of Jamie Conboy back in the beautifully turned out pixel racer GTR. Looks great, as I'm getting word from chat that they can see it as well. So there we go. There is no excuse for any of us to get corner names wrong now.
Oh, there is an excuse. It's called I don't know how to English, and I stand by that for the rest of eternity. So I'm going to stuff up everything, including the inner loop, even though it's pretty obvious there, but that looks very nice there from the Nissan of Conboy. For some reason he knows how to literally make that thing look like it's on rails, or just drift spec. I don't think there is actually an in-between with that car.
No, definitely not. It's either absolutely flying like it is at the moment, and this is a very nice lap, by the way, or it is completely sideways, and he's driving out the side window. So this lap, we'll keep an eye on this, because this looks very quick so far. Up through toe now as he pops over the rise, down in towards, you're going to break it around the 200 metre mark, then tip it in. Some use second, some use third. It really does depend on preference and sort of the way your car's set up and your gearbox is set up as well. Then nice late turn in. Keeps it in third there. Interesting. So use third the whole way through that silly corner.
You gotta remember though, the Nissan does have that weird gearing. So what you would be a second would probably be a third for a Nissan. And is the chat now, is my mic volume better? Everyone was saying I was slightly quiet according to the YouTube chat.
Just use your outside voice, mate.
To just start yelling.
Yeah, that works. This Conboy now is about to start his second fly here. This will give us a proper indication of his pace. He's currently in 4th at the moment, so it's a very solid start here from JC in the GTR. He heads up on the back straight now. He will reach maximum velocity here at about 270 kilometers an hour, and then just absolutely throws it into the loop with utter abandon. The GTR just absolutely monsters the curves. That is not the line. I think that's a little out of the groove there. Yep. And decides, I think he's going to shut that one down. And he may get one more shot. It'll be touch and go. But I think he'll, shut it down and maybe have another crack. And hopefully he can improve that position. He's got to find .622 at the moment. It is still Alice leading the way with a 43.350 from Reynolds, Burt, Conboy, Monks, Hayes, Vediger and Murphy are 8 at the moment with under a minute remaining.
I just realised that Reynolds is in a Honda. That is a bold choice. And the Aston of Chris Keeley, welcome to the server. Not qualifying, probably just going to do a last to first challenge. That's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, welcome to Split Blue.
Welcome to Keggers. As we are looking at Ashton Reynolds here in a Honda, that is correct, in a Boss Honda. Oh, is that the Boss Coffee or is that Hugo Boss? That's Boss Coffee.
That's coffee.
Ah. Have you tried that stuff?
I don't.
As he goes top of the timesheet, sorry to interrupt there, with a 43.2. That is a mega lap there from Reynolds. That sort of come out of nowhere a little bit, but wow. Clutch lap right at the end there.
Yeah, but like, as I said, coffee's not important, and I'm sure like 90% of YouTubers going to hate me on that front. But never tried the damn thing. Don't like it. Well, not like I haven't tried it. I've tried it, but not a fan. Don't need it. I get the same effect out of drinking a glass of water. So yeah, that's what I think of coffee. But as we see, the Mustang of Monks here, it's a bit. Oh, it looks like the tail was actually quite happy to be stale, but did lose 2/10 on the exit there of that corner that we've on the Achilles. 14 was nothing. There's also no name on that one. And 15 is also a blank, but has gained a little bit of time on the exit. Going to be roughly about 2/10 up and get a free posse. Oh, no, 2 posies up to P3. Very nice with a 43.8.
Look at that mix of manufacturers as well. So we've got 5 different makes in the top 5 as well. Honda from a Porsche, from a Ford, from a Mercedes. Looking at a screen at the moment is Burton in that absolutely stunningly turned out Merc. That looks fantastic. That is a real proper factory looking spec Merc. Yeah, that is a great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Big fan.
Like pedestal fan, ceiling fan.
Oh, we're definitely going the full 5-speed ceiling fan.
Ah, very nice. Industrial scale, or you know,
Of course.
The standard. Yeah, nice.
He stays 4th there, Burton, but yeah, solid. Monks and Burton now silver class competitors up there, and 3rd and 4th. Get a feeling that badge won't last around for a while, but that is qualifying, run and done. So it is Reynolds from Ellis, Monks, Burton, Comboy, Hayes, Johnson, Vediger, Murphy, Jeffcoat, Babil, Bell, Boxall, Horsburgh, Bushel, Marsh, Smiles, Callahan, Muddle, and Appreciado are your top 20.
Now, I'm liking the spread across the classes here. Obviously, that's probably not going to last long, considering it normally takes a race or two for the actual classes to settle themselves out. But I dare say that with if Monks and Burton get decent results, they might be getting a bit of tap on the shoulder going, excuse me, I think you're wearing the wrong colour. You need to go to the white.
I think you are 100% right there, as they all line up on the grid now with about 2:20 remaining, so plenty of time. Of course, a big thank you does go to our amazing sponsors at simrigs.com for all your sim racing needs. And of course, if you are one of our fantastic OOR Patreons, you do receive a 5% discount, of course, simrigs.com. Tell them Sean sent you, and I believe some of those.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can endorse these quite well, considering they just fixed my issue of having no wheel. So I did use the Patreon code and got my 5% off the new wheel and wheelbase. So I am now Simrigs/SimMagic happy boy.
Excellent.
And I had a first few laps on it earlier today, before, well, got a nice little minute before the thing, and I don't know how to drive. But it's fine. It's a little minor curve that I've now got to, you know, learn how to drive with a new wheel and new feel, and the cars just feel really strange, and the feedback is a hell of a lot more, and the wheel takes a lot more energy too. But this is an absolute stunning looking. I love that police livery there. That is absolutely stunning. That's very nice. Once again, hat goes off to all those people out in the world that are skilled enough to put these beautiful liveries on these cars for the drivers, including myself. It is definitely a skill that I do not have. So,
look, the Peppermint Aero's getting another run for the seat. Big fan. Like it. Ooh, psychedelic.
I am liking a lot of these. Oh, there's a gap on the field. That's all right. Hey, there's a bit of an anime car back there we just saw. Thank you to the shout out to the old DBZ world. What have we got there?
Oh, yes, that Bentley. Oh, the Scalextrics Bentley. I believe that is Mr. Thistlethwaite.
I would say so. Is that the only Bentley we have in the field? I would dare say there's not very many.
I think so, yeah. Oh,
the old Lounsey.
Lounsey, the green-eyed monster. Oh.
I actually remember seeing that car for the first time at Bathurst and lost my mind. So yeah, shout out to that Ford. I think that was back in the AUs, wasn't it? From memory.
It was, yes.
How old are we? Reminiscing back to 80
Yeah, I know.
Falcons. Jesus. As we see them starting to head off for their formation lap. Well, Hewley's just going to sit there. Oh, there we go. So he's found the acceleration button. There we go. And we're going to see what happens once they do a nice little trundle lap around the old Watkins Glen. Probably travelling at roughly about 120k an hour, and somewhere in sector 3, probably as they come out of the chute, or into the chute, whatever you're going to call it, the boot, the heel, they will go the old double file.
They will. It's going to be exciting tonight. 60 minutes, no stops. So, as I said, flag to flag. And a big welcome to our chat as well. And also a big special welcome to Jan. Hope you are well. Welcome to a new season,
Hi,
Jan. And here we are. So, yeah, 60 minutes, no stop. Weather looks fantastic. Absolutely bright sunshine. So, this is going to be foot to the firewall start racing here. And we've got a cracking grid as well with Reynolds, Ellis, Monks, Burton, Comboy. That top 5 is spicy in itself. And then you've got Hayes and Johnson and Rediger and Murphy just behind. Murphy in the Lambo as well, so he's had a car change this season.
He's normally a Porsche man. Yeah.
He is. We've lost a few of them this season. Even I've jumped out, so...
Yeah, what's with that? I mean, well, I know what it is with, but you know, come on, man. I thought you were like Porsche fanatic.
Look, I just go where the money is.
Yeah. Where the sponsors tell you to go, you will drive.
That's right.
So how much was that PayPal donation you got there?
It's good.
Oh, as we see, it looks like they're starting to say double files.
They are.
Step on your toes.
You're right there, Sean.
But it's my first time back, so let's see what kind of curse we're going to give. Because I haven't done a curse in what seems to be at least a season or so, because I stood away from the old comms, but it's good to be back with my buddy. We're going to see what happens here.
It's good.
It's
nice to see an NSX up there as well, so...
Yeah, the Honda. Has that still got the old VTEC awesome launch power it has, or not so much?
I think it's been nullified a little bit, but we're going to find out because it's up against one of the quickest launching cars in the entire game. The mighty Porsche 992 GT3R.
And the Mustang behind's not going to be no slouch either, but as we come into the final corner, we're going to have probably 4 of the quickest launching cars in the game, and the Nissan's got no slouch either of their convoy, so don't miss out on those two side by side with also the police livery on the other Nissan. But here we go, moments away from the lights going green, and we just sit here in anticipation, waiting. So the race starts. Initialized. Round 1, split blue. Welcome to the new season, and we're going green. Oh god, they're 5-6 wide. Jeez, as we come down into the first time into turn 1, are they going to make it all hell, or are we going to get through it? There's 5 wide. Back a bit further, please. Let's see what we can go through. No, so far so good. 3 wide still there. Everyone's playing semi-nice. Some have to take the escape route, and still going 3 wide into the S's. Oh dear, this is going to go to hell if someone gets a little bit crossed up. We could see another representation of Peach going on his roof. No, everyone seems to have decided that on the black wheels is where it needs to be rather than on the roof of the car. Definitely have more control. And into the bus stop for the first time. Oh, a little bit of contact. Everyone seems to be relatively okay except for that McLaren. Other than that, we're not doing too bad.
Not a bad start there from Blue, but up the front there. Look at Alice. He's got the jump as well. He's in first position now. Really important here for Reynolds to stick on the back of Ellis. You do not want Ellis driving away because that will be drive away, no more to pay. Burton there in 3rd, Monks in 4th, Comboy in 5th. Nice start there from JC. Just lurking around. If you can just keep on tack with these front 4, he should be in for a really good showing. And then just behind there, it looks like we've got Hayes, Vediger, Johnson, Murphy. So all our big players are up the front. We've got Bushell there. Oh, mate, they're in 10th position. Nice start there from Bushell. Great start in the Merc there as well, but Split Blue have done a very nice job.
They have done quite well. That isn't over yet, so we haven't seen a yellow, but that's alright. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And my curse has failed, which means I need to do more practice in cursing cars. But so far, it is just great to see. Oh god, Reynolds went real wide at the second last corner there. Definitely looking real racy. He's going to try and have a nice little dip on the inside here. What is Ellis going to do? Is he going to defend hard? Which he does. Forces Reynolds to go to the outside. Go around the outside of turn 1. Is it going to happen? Honda versus Port. Oh, no. Tucked back in. Now to get the slipstream, but that is also opened up for Burton to get a wicked exit and tack onto the back of these three.
This is going to get real spicy. Head up now towards the inner loop. We're going to call it the bus stop because that's what it is. And look at that, right in the toe there's Burton as well as he unleashes that big AMG Merc. Oh, look at that, Reynolds goes in. They're going to try and go 3 wide into the bus stop. That never works. But they've really sorted that out well there. But Reynolds is looking extremely racy at the moment. Oh, gets a little taily there on the exit. You just saw it. Just stepped out sideways on a nice bit of car control to keep it out of the fence though. But that's given Burton some real impotence to try and get past. This is great racing up front. These top 5 are absolutely putting on a bit of a show at the moment. We're only 2 laps into it. How good is this?
You mean a lap and a half? Come on.
Look, let's not get down to semantics now.
Just going to give a quick shout out that every single car up until P15 is within 5 or 6 tenths of the car ahead. Like, there is no car further apart than that.
It's a great thing about the Glen. It's does produce racing like this when you absolutely get it right. It's such a fun track to race on. Not so much fun the hot lap, but brilliant to race on. Because you've got to make your moves stick. That's the... Whoa, Reynolds, yes! Just out on the slide. NSX doing NSX things. Won't do the tyres any good, but that would have felt amazing. I like Burton here. He's just sitting there, just lurking. Just keeping it... Ooh, and as I say that, he runs a little bit wide.
A little wide, possible track time.
Could be, could be.
So you get 3 free freebies, and then the 4th one, it stings you. So it's okay. One's okay.
Exactly. 60 minutes, plenty of time. Reynolds just showed the nose there a little bit. Thought better of it, tucks it back in. Just trying to find a little chink in the armour of Ellison at the moment, but not seeming to find it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest things to do here, especially following someone through the bus stop. You definitely get that little bit of error wash as well. But at the moment, Reynolds is absolutely doing a stellar job staying that close to the rear of Porsche. But don't forget the other cars at the back. Like, this is a, 11 car snake of a field at the moment. Everyone's within that half a second gap. So if one person makes a mistake, you're going to lose a few posies.
We've just got a camera too at the moment. That's keeping on there. That's Cooley there at the moment, who's had a bit of an off moment as he's making his way through traffic. He's up to 20th, I believe. So he's on the charge in the Aston. And we'll keep an eye on Keka's watch. But this battle up front is absolutely raging. What a fantastic performance this has been so far from Ellison Reynolds. And they've just gapped Burton slightly. It's not a lot, but it's just slightly.
So I was just organising my child getting into the shower. But yeah, this race right now is absolutely insane. Getting back into the swing of things. We've got, we're on board here with Bell in the Porsche. Normally he sits a bit higher up in the field from memory, but definitely no slouch on face. Oh god, that Bentley had a awesome exit. It's ducking to the inside of the S's. Oh, there's been a bit of a contact. That's play on for the moment, I believe. The Bentley should do the nice thing and redress that. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh dear, oh dear! Oh boy, that's going to be. I can hear the team radios blowing up as we speak. That will be very much looked at as the Bentley's right out sideways, Scale Electric style. Very.
I would not like to be the stewards at the moment because I dare say they're going to get a few hot messages from teams representing the contact going, excuse me, that Bentley is a naughty boy.
Back here with Vedica at the moment in that absolutely magnificent Coke Zero BMW, one of my absolute personal favourites. And he's got some real pressure here at the moment from Murphy in the Lamborghini here. I thought Murphy had a bit of a run there and tried to turn up the inside. I was right, I thought he had a run.
Not the inside, but going around the outside.
The outside. Oh, Lunchy, you madman. Oh, he's still on the outside.
And still going. He's going to go on the outside here too. No, he's going to lose the track position. Both potentially get a cut. No, that was what it was on. Lunchy's going to definitely need to snap in to hear the... Oh, did they both just clip the wall?
Yep, there was a touch.
I think I've hit my curse quota. I've killed Bell, and now I've got both of these in the wall, so maybe I need to stop.
Nice work. Welcome back.
Welcome back to normal.
Just close to a track cut there for Rediger. That'll be very tight. So easy to do at the 90. Okay, turn 1. Now, Murphy's got a nice run in the Lambo here. But the Lambo hits this invisible wall about now.
Oh, that's a little bit of movement.
That's interesting. Oh, jeez. That is very close. That's compromised Rediger's exit, but there's just nowhere for Murphy to go here. So he's just going to have to be patient. Deep breath. I'm sure he'll find a way past because he's looking incredibly speedy in that Lamborghini.
Or power sliding in the Lamborghini, so there's definitely speed to burn clearly in the rear axle there. But he's definitely looking very pacey at the moment. I dare say it's a bit stronger through the first part of the track than the Beamer. But yeah, as you said, it does hit that sort of brick wall at about 6th gear. But as we see the Beamer here go very defensive against the Lambo. He's going to try around the outside again, but tucks back in, maybe a bit of a crisscross going on.
Thought about it. I tell you, that baby blue's really starting to grow on me up there, though. I'm actually enjoying looking at that. That's nice. It's probably got some sort of meme or something on the roof being lunchy.
Of course. Let's hope that they both didn't hit the wall this time around, so that's a good start. But the one you got to be careful here is, I think that's Johnson that's just sitting there waiting, biding his time. Oh god, we see the Merc. Oh, Bush will just do a quick dart on the inside and gets the move done. Looks like caught Johnson a bit sleepy there, but it could have just been that he was a bit compromised into turn 1. But the Mercedes took the opportunity and went, "Thank you for leaving the door open. I will take that posse." But
that was a very aggressive, decisive move there from Bushel. But look at this, Johnson's going to come back and return serve here. Oh, he runs it a little deep. He runs it way too deep. Watch the rejoin.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of heart in the mouth moments and a few brown flags, maybe even a change of pants. But did well to actually keep the car under control, especially with that bump once you rejoin, because it looks like another car in the yellow there didn't do as well as what Johnson just did. So we might catch that in a replay at some point as we see a car return to pits. That's Jensen.
So Jensen has returned to pits, so that's it's kind of his day dusted. But of course, long season, dust off, move to the next round. So we are looking at Thistleweight in the Scale Electrics Bentley at the moment, chasing Babley here in the Porsche.
Yeah, I dare say that Thistleweight though will have a pen looming over their head for the contact on Bell earlier. The size is yet to be determined yet, but we will soon see as we're back on board here with Vediger and Murph. Again, seems to get right up tucked into the tail, but just doesn't quite have enough legs. This time it seems a lot closer into turn 1. What's the defensive move if there is one? Doesn't look like there will be. Gonna play a little bit safe, tuck in behind, hopefully get a run up into the bus stop.
Go round 3 as we are on board now with Murphy. The squatty potty Lamborghini. That's going to catch on.
What a
I can feel it. He's got a nice run here again. He gets a lovely run through the S's and then just hits the proverbial brick wall. Just cannot get alongside to make this move stick. He's going to think, he thought about it. That was half a second there where he thought about that.
But again, there was also half a second where it was almost a wall contact. So yeah, he backed out. He did the right thing.
Look, positive thinking.
Yeah, I was positive it was going to hit the wall.
Down to the chute now. We're only 12 minutes in, so plenty of time to make up positions. These top guys are so precise, you're just going to have to be inch perfect. That gap up the front too, I've been keeping an eye on that. That's still at 0.29 seconds. That has not moved at all. So they are absolutely on rails, Allison Reynolds. Burton has dropped off a little bit. He's got Monks right behind him as well. So it's a couple of really fantastic battles across our top 10 at the moment. And this battle is definitely top of the tree.
Definitely, as I said, the first two are within that 3/10. They're basically, I think they're attached at the hip. Oh, a big slide from Murph on exit there, but keeps the Lambo under control, and he'll try and set this beamer up for another shot. But Bushell also looking very racy at the moment in that Mercedes behind, and obviously we've got Babby in the Porsche behind that as well, about to tack on to make this a four-way battle. But going back to the front of the pack, yeah, your first two are only separated by 3/10. Burton is in a little tiny gap of no man's land. 3 seconds to Reynolds, 2.5 seconds to Monks behind, so a little bit of breathing space. As we see Cooley getting a 10-second penalty for contact on the car. Not sure what we caught that for, but a little 10-second pen there is attached to his time. And then Convoy is about 4/10 or 2/10 now, according to the update, behind Monks. So there's like a little battle for first, a little gap, and then a little battle for fourth. But yeah, that's just basically your top five. They're sort of in their own little group at the moment. And this little pack is definitely sorting itself out into a nice battle group as well.
Oh, certainly is. I just had a look there. Rediger ran it really wide. That gave Murphy again just a bit of a sniff. But he just cannot get that Lambo just up alongside the BMW to really make this move decisive. He's being super patient though, so credit where credit's due. This can be very difficult to do, but we know Murphy's benchmark operator knows what he's doing. Just behind there we're seeing now Bushell, we know he'll just send it. He only needs a quarter of a sniff and he'll just go, yep, oh, that's it, I'm going. It is nice to see the Merc as well. A couple of Mercs up here as well. We've got ourselves a bit of a replay. And that is, oh dear, Cooley. Yep, that's going to be a slam dunk every day of the week, unfortunately.
I dare say that's what the 10-second would have been for.
Yep, and that's what caused that sort of bit of concertina effect as well. So that explains all that. We're glad we unpacked that. Big thank you to our fantastic
Bushell here got a wicked
Bushell
run
again
on the inside of Murphy, and oh, he backs out. I thought he was actually going to stick the nose, but oh god, Murph decided he was going to tail happy the exit and see what happens here. But now with Bushell there having a compromised exit, we've got Babby in the Porsche looking a bit racy behind as well. So this is definitely spicing up. I think it's, you know, one little mistake causes that little gap, and then you settle into your rhythm again, then you realise that you're back in. And yeah, these four, keep an eye on them, but it's going to probably go for a fair long time, this stint.
Just see how much the Porsche gains through this stuff. It's really good through here. The Porsche feels amazing. Such a nice trip. So we've got back. Yeah, so Alice, our leader. Excited. Yeah, out to 1.6 there. So he's just squeezed the throttle pedal a little bit here.
I wonder if Reynolds had a bit of an oopsie to cause that gap, because I mean they were literally 2/10 the entire time. So could have been that Alice has found the loud pedal a bit more, but also I don't know, not sure how much the Honda is able to be controlled here. But we've also got that gap again to Burton. That was at like 2.9 at one point. So Burton has caught up to Reynolds by about a second, but it was also dropped to Alice by about 1.2 seconds. So I'm going to put it out there and say there was a bit of a compromised corner or something at some stage, but we'll see what Reynolds can do. If he can find the loud pedal again and tack back onto the back of Alice. But yeah, front three, pretty much about 1.6 seconds to each of it, so that's not too bad at all.
Just a bit of housekeeping. We've got Jeff Cope there currently in 20th position with a drive-through. I'm going to assume that is for truck limits. So there's our first one. 17 minutes into the race, not too bad. As we are looking at Bushell here, who has shown his cards early. He is very keen to get on with this race. He doesn't want to sit behind and just do formation laps, but he has got a real issue because Babby is all over him here, and he's going to pull the nose out of the Porsche into the bus stop. They're going to go, oh wow, Bushell just absolutely slammed the door. He said, no chance, you are not getting through there. That was as close as you like to a huge accident. And
that was literally That was his best representation of Gandalf and the "You shall not pass," and just absolutely destroyed. I'm not sure whether that Porsche actually hit the wall or not. It looked like there was possible contact. I know that I took a very compromised line that had quite a bit of grass in the old tyres there, but fair play to Bush there to go, nah, this is my track. As we see again, as he's going to go try around the outside again, but now Bushel's back on the rear. Well, keep an eye out. This is now three car battle. Murph tries to go on the inside, no dice.
Make that 4 cars.
Make it 4, yeah. They're all going sideways out of that corner there. Don't worry about that. Who cares about the rubber that's left on your tyres at the end of a race? It only matters where you finish. As we come into the final corner here, the Bushel lost a little bit. Oh, Murph got all out of control there. Has to go wicked defensive. This will probably be a fairly easy overtake from Bushel here, but we'll see how he's lost 2. Wow.
Yep,
okay.
That was a very compromised exit there from Murphy. And Bushel is just flying along at the moment. This is turning into a really nice race here. So currently I believe in 8th position and doing it beautifully in the Merc. But second of our Pro-Ams, because Hayes in 6th position is putting in a bit of a masterclass here in that Police 05, whatever number it is, GTR. I just went with 05 because it made me
it works. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking livery underneath it.
There we go. So, Bushel. Babu, Murphy. Currently fighting for that 10th position, 8th, 9th, 10th position at the moment. Vediger's just held on to this beautifully. It's the thing with Vediger, we've seen this a couple of times, well, over quite a few seasons now. Vediger, he knows how to put a car on the right spot, doesn't make mistakes, might not have the overall pace, but he just knows how to defend and make things very difficult. But Bushel is on an absolute charge. He's going to try and set it around the outside. Surely not. He just lost a little bit of ground there. I thought that was going to set him up beautifully up here towards heel, but unfortunately, the no-name, the Achilles, that's right.
This has opened the door back to Murphy as well.
There's doors everywhere.
There's doors everywhere. Even the other 4 cars behind Murphy now are basically tacking onto this group. This is going to be an 8-car battle soon. Or definitely 2 lots of 4, or maybe a 5 and a 3 or so. I don't know. Math starts to get complicated with the amount of cars that are lining up in this train. I mean, literally, this almost sounds like most F1 weekends when they say they're in a DRS train, just that we don't have DRS. As we get to see the compromised exit, oh, a big power slide into the last corner. Does well to actually save that, to be honest. I mean, if that was me, I would have probably ended up in the pit wall. But the fact that he was able to keep the car under control and still lost positions, yes, but yeah, done better than I probably ever could.
It's a Lambo, doesn't it? Oh, Bushel, that's as close as you want to get. You do not want to get any closer than that. And, oh, he's right out sideways. It's going to be... Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
How that didn't cause a huge accident, I have no idea.
Was that more curb or was there a slight assist from the Porsche? I'm not sure. I would need camera angles, but that was definitely awesome racing, and hats off to everyone that managed to avoid the dying Mercedes and slide there. You guys have done exceptionally well, but unfortunate that Bushel has now dropped back down. Oh, he's done power slide in the next corner as well. We're just going drift spec now. I don't know if that was planned, but that looked awesome.
I reckon those tyres are well and truly cooked.
You could definitely... what kind of steak do you like? Because those tyres will cook it to perfection at the moment. They're a little bit hot.
I'd love a nice New York strip, actually. Medium rare. That'd be great. Thanks. Cheers.
Hey, no worries. Just, send the bill to Bushel at Mercedes and you'll be fine.
That's true. It's Mercedes. They got plenty of money.
That's right. But Babby, looking fast in the Porsche, tacking on the back of Vediger. Vediger just hasn't really had a break at the moment. He's trying to defend against Murph. Murph does a mistake, gets a little breather, gets Bushel behind him, has another battle, defends like a champion, has a mistake, gets a breather. Now Babby's like, alright, you've had those 2, my turn. Get out my way. I'm going to try and see where I can put my Porsche. Thanks very much.
Unfortunately, this is probably the worst spot. Here we go. So we're on board with Bush here as we head into the bus stop. So he's through there. He's on the slide here, sort of,
Oh,
and he
curb.
hits the curb right out on the slide, and wow, that was Johnson, I believe. That
That was Cooley as well. I think Cooley went to the inside and just dodged him, but goddamn. Yeah, it doesn't take much through there, unfortunately. Any car that dips a wheel into that one is going to end up having a sad moment.
Burton's
dropped down
from
to 6.
P3. He's down to 6. Yes, so he's... Wow, it's all happening.
Glen needs more hamsters on more screens to find out what's going on. It's just... Split Blue, I appreciate the great racing and that, but slow down for a moment so we can actually catch up, please.
And I believe
it'd be great.
We've got a yellow flag there with 22 as well, so I believe that's Carter who's... Yep.
They have
the race has gone off.
It's gone off the hinges. What have you done, Muller?
But again, just so cool under pressure, isn't he?
He is. I've had the pleasure to race against Vertigo quite a few times, and Metronome is sort of what comes to mind sometimes. As here's the replay of what happens here. Burton comes into the bus stop, and do we have a? Oh, that's a lot of. No, that's fine. Oh, almost does the exact same thing that Bushell's done. Manages to keep it out of the wall, but has a nice little spin. Did well. Must be a Mercedes thing.
Yeah, definitely. At least it's not porpoising.
Have they got that out of their system yet?
I believe so. I hope so.
Too soon? Not soon enough.
Not soon enough, definitely.
Just design a better car, right? Isn't that the argument they were going with? As we see another yellow flag on bus stop. That's starting to take some numbers now, but we'll see what happens.
Cooley's up to 10th, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. He's now on the back of Murphy, so I dare say he will chomp up that Lamborghini pretty quickly. We all know what that's like in Australia. Actually, I think he already has.
Yes.
He has.
Oh, Babby's up the inside here of Rediger. Oh, still better. I tries holding it inside. Oh, there's been a touch. That's going to allow Keeley to get a run alongside of Babby. He's going to throw it up the inside at Achilles and gets that done. So Keeley, ever the opportunist, just sees that opportunity, saw a little snippet and said, yep, I'll have some of that. And now he's got to work on Rediger.
I dare say too that that would have been reported as contact, but I think sometimes you got to leave racing as racing, and yeah, we'll just leave that as racing. Now, Cooley got to go against Vertigo. Can he defend Aston versus Beamer? We all know that the Aston is insane in acceleration.
It is, and it's a nice car to drive. I will admit it. I've spent a bit of time in it now, but that BMW, while it sounds like a strangled out vacuum cleaner, it is a very competent race car, and it's got a very competent driver behind the wheel as well. Vertigo will not make this easy. I don't think Keeley cares though, because look at the aggression on that Aston. He is moving it left. Just slide it through the bus stop, no worries.
I'll just give it one stop, Muller.
Well, no problem. Oh, again, Keeley, just see he's really leaning on it. But just keeping it very composed, as we've got a couple of sort of wood there. 610s, could be a 10-second penalty. But this battle is raging on. Vertigo ran a little wide there. That's going to give Keeley a run as they head down now. They pop down the hill. He'll break it nice and late. He should be able to get this done pretty easily. Oh, maybe not. Vertigo super deep on the brakes. He wants to argue this position. Oh, that was a slight push wide. We'll see what happens as Keeley gives the position back. He does. Well, maybe not. No, I'm not going to call this because this is raging on. This is unbelievable racing. They're side by side through 3 corners now. They're going to go 4 wide. 4 corners side by side. Now Keeley finally gets the job done at the final turn. What an exchange. Oh, Babby's right outside racing to the wall. This race has produced a drama, and we're not even halfway yet. Unbelievable race so far.
You got to give it to Keeley there. He wanted the position.
Oh, he did. There was some words exchanged, I reckon, though. Hard, but that was hard racing. That's what we love. Good, hard racing. Murphy's probably sitting there going, well, that just kicked off, didn't it? Well, actually, Murphy better keep an eye on his rearview mirror because he's got Johnson all over him here. Go through the outer loop now. 32. Oh, that looked. Oh no, that looked weird there for a second. So the Glen has produced another ripping race. Of course, stick around after this. We've got Split Red, Split Asia, Split Blood, whatever you want to call it, coming up. Should be another cracking season from Split Red as well. Of course, bringing you all the action will be the one and only Jaden Mondanella and Lindsay Muddle. So I'm keen to see how Split Red goes. But back to this action. 32 minutes ago, as a blue flag takes the extreme out of the way line. Just got ourselves a replay. This is that exchange between Cooley and look at this. Oh, baby, just Porsche things. It does that from time to time. Cooley's got the foot down now. He's off after Burton. And Vediger, those lovely drive though. Still in 8th position. Hasn't put a foot wrong really. Just some other drivers around. Just been that little bit quicker, but the defensive game has been top class. With our leader, Brenna Ellis, who's currently 1.9 to the good in the Logitech Porsche. Just driving inch perfect at the moment. We've seen this before though from Ellis. He has got his head around this 992 and just knows where to place it. Just look, it's beautifully driven. That is how you drive a Porsche, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely better than what I can drive the Porsche. I think last time I drove the Porsche, I ended up more times in the wall than actually on the track. So, yeah. Alice, anyone wants to know any tips, probably send a DM. I'll probably be happy to help. Or as we see a car just decide, I'll get out your way, thank you. I know you're the race leader. I don't need to stay on the track. And Reynolds here, the car did the exact same for Reynolds, so that's very nice. It's car 41 there, so nicely done to letting the race leaders through. Good job.
John, good job there, chaps.
Yes, indeed. Reynolds, though, was a bit further back. I think it was 2 point something at some point, so has managed to just pull back slightly. Maybe the traffic has helped at 1.6 or 1.5. There we go. I thought it was 1.6 before. But so far so good. Maybe, you know, with half hour left in the race, that's not that much of a gap to actually try and chase down. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely see what happens. So we do have that sort of period of the race now where everything just settles down. As I say that, we go back to Vediger and Murphy. He was still raging here. Murphy's going to have another shot. He's just wound it up a little bit this last couple of laps. So heading to the 90 now. Probably the one corner does make sense because it's a 90-degree bend. So smart. And through the S's.
Is it also the 90 because it takes 1 in 90 to actually get the corner right?
Look, actually, that's a fair shout.
Because I'm pretty sure I still haven't got it correct yet, and I don't know how many times I've tried it.
I think that corner, I can't remember a time where I've got it right like 3 or 4 times in a row. It's once or twice in track limits. Once or twice track limits. It's a frustrating corner.
I think it's very much a delayed sort of. Oh, we see Murph go a bit wide on exit there, and Johnson, yeah.
Yep, Johnson definitely has had a moment there. We've seen because he's dropped down the order, and he's lost pace too. And he's got Thistleweight all over him there. Yes, here we are with the Mosaic Aston and the Scale Electrics Bentley. Scale Electrics beat. That's the classic livery, that one. If you know your GT3 racing around the world, absolutely brilliant livery, that one. One of my absolute personal favourites. Looks fantastic. Did you have Scale Electrics cars as a kid?
Oh God, that was a long time. You expect me to remember that far back? I'm old, don't you remember?
Yeah. Well, I'm just as old, if not. No, I'm older than you.
That's beside the point. I believe I did have something along those lines, but yeah, God, maybe not. Maybe my brother did. Maybe I just stole his stuff. I can't really remember. But here's a replay of what happened to Johnson. Is this a? That's another. Yeah, this is a literally representation of. Oh, that's a bit more of a better slide than the two Mercedes. But more or less that inside curb, not a fan. We'll spit your car across the track. And then it put him right into the clutches of Thistle's weight there. So yeah. Aston joining the party of the Mercedes club. Maybe it wants to be a Mercedes? Not really sure.
Well, it does have a Mercedes engine.
That's true. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
we almost see
there
it again in the flesh.
Now that's a curse, I reckon. That's a curse.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that curve is such an RNG curve, though.
It really is. I mean, I've gone through there and gone, oh yeah, the car feels amazing, and then done a stint. Oh, the car feels amazing, and then, oh, what the hell? Oh yeah, I stuffed up and died because you dip a wheel by half a mil and it decides to just do the loop-to-loops. But yeah, good to see that we actually managed to get a nice power slide live then. So thank you, Mr. Camera Work, as Cooley has started from last and is now up to P6. This man is on a mission, and he still has the 10-second pen over his head. So I'm not sure where exactly that'll drop him down to currently. Quick math would say probably somewhere around P13-ish, if I can quickly do that math. But that's still a hell of a drive already.
It's been a very good drive, but are we shocked? Not really. This is kind of what Keggers does. He's a very, very quick operator, and put him in an Aston and he can be closer untouchable some days. Just love the way he drives his car. It is a joy to watch.
Well, we did get the in-house seat at
we did.
the other day with him deciding the memes that I'm going to throw the fastest lap, and then stuffs the fastest lap but still gets it, and then was like, I could do better. It's just like, oh yeah, okay, thanks Keckers. But looks like that didn't care about the curb there either through the bus stop. So not sure what the man's doing, but yeah, I definitely can't drive the cars like he can. It's definitely awesome to watch.
That car just getting off. This car just getting out of the way there.
I was just having that blue flag.
On board with Kex at the moment. Apparently chasing down Burton. This is for 5th position.
Here's one for you, Molly. As Burton, and you can see that you got a very bloodshot eye driven Keckers behind you. With a looming 10-second pen, would you defend to all hell or go, you know what? Not really my fight.
With 24 minutes remaining, I'm fighting this as hard as I can.
I mean, I'd fight it too because it's Cooley and I think it'd be funny, but it wouldn't last very long because I'm not as good as probably Burton is either. So, but maybe that is something playing on drivers' minds sometimes when you do get up towards the pointy end of the field. Are you able to keep within 10 seconds of the car behind? Do you want to hold them up? Are they holding you up? Yeah, just something, food for thought for those that are on track.
It's an interesting one. I think just with the pace that Cooley has shown, Burton's probably thinking, I don't know, 24 minutes. As here we go, he's going to go for the move up at the bus stop. Oh, they're going to go side by side. There's a bit of a touch there. Oh, Cooley, he's off on the dirt. Somehow he's kept that. Okay, I have no idea how he's done that.
Yeah, there's words to explain that. I probably don't have them, which is fine. But there was some contact. I dare say Burton thought there was probably a little bit more room we had, but turns out there may not have been on the angle that we can see there, but hard to say at this stage. But yeah, somehow they still managed to get through the bus stop with neither of them really needing an ambulance. But not sure how they managed to both keep them going straight, to be honest.
Yeah, there was definitely moments, lots of moments. As now he gets a head down, he's off after one Jamie Conboy in the Pixel Racer GTR. And and that'll be for 4th position overall, which this is turning into one hell of a storming drive from absolutely stone motherless last up to 4th. But again, I am not surprised. I have seen this man firsthand what he can do in a Aston Martin, and it's simply not human. But we go with another race. We are on board here. So this is Burton. Oh, I'm not touching that one.
Oh yeah, I was to say, I would like a few more angles, a few beverages, and about 15 minutes to see what the hell I'd want to do with that one. But I'm glad I'm not in the steward's box tonight. I believe Gibbo and Co can take care of that one because I'm not commenting.
Big thank you does go out to our amazing stewarding team. It is a thankless task, but they do a magnificent job. We couldn't go racing without them. And of course, a big shout out does go to the one and only Glen Germain, who's bringing you all these fantastic pictures this evening. And I hope you are enjoying round 1 action for the final season of 2023 of the Simrigs.com Sprint Series. You are watching Split Blue, and of course, stick around after this race for the one and only Split Red, which should be an absolute ripper. As we are looking at Chris Cooley on screen, currently in 5th position.
Currently 5th. Just going to shout out though to the front of the pack again. Alice is still maintaining a 1.6 second gap to Reynolds, so that's not changing much. Looks like there is a bit of, I guess, clear track ahead of both of them, so now it's just back to straight race pace. Monk has dropped off the pace of the front two, being 17 seconds behind currently, and then Convoy followed by a further 4.6 behind, and then you have P5 here with Chris Gilton only 1.2 behind JB Convoy. So the front is looking very spicy still. The first two have definitely sort of, I guess, you know, put the high gear on and have skipped away from P3. But, you know, there's still battles all over the track. You can still see that from P basically 6 down, or 7 down, there's about 4 cars still within half a second of each other. So, you know, it's never over until, as they say, the fat lady sings.
Exactly.
I dare
was
say.
about to say that.
There you go.
No, it's all right. I was thinking of something. Thought, no, you know what? I'm going to plead the 5th on that one.
I can't sing, so you can't call me a fat lady. But anyway, as we see Keckers go wide on turn 1, I dare say that would have been a speed token or a track cut, as he's just throwing this car. This is the same angle. Oh, there was definite overlap. That's interesting.
Keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, good luck to the stewards. If anyone's got Dan Murphy's vouchers, the stewards definitely need them throughout the season. Round 1 is no exception. So pass on the love and care to those involved in the stewards box, as always. Back on board here though with Cooley, who has just got another pen. Is it another 10 seconds? There you go, another 10 seconds. Probably for that incident we've seen twice now. Maybe it was deemed as a bit aggressive or not given enough space, etc, etc, who knows, but that is being dished out. So now 20 seconds are added to the finishing position of that car. Now, going in another one here, Muller, you're Jamie Convoy with the Keckers behind you with the 20-second pens. What do you do?
With 19 minutes remaining, no, I'm still fighting it.
You're still fighting, Pierre? I would too, because I'm not nice. But yeah, now these two have raced against each other for quite some time, so... But with Convoy's pace, I dare say, 20 minutes, I think you could pretty much say you could let them go. But jumping back a bit further down to our head AM class driver in that lovely police JDM.
I've just seen the number on it now, 50. Very good.
Yeah, because it's
Saxon.
a top car.
Yes, very good. Or as James May used to call it, the 50.
The 50. The Popo, whatever you refer to it as. The fellas in blue.
The Albanian Rozzers.
God. Going out there. And here we are, back with Vetiga, defending against Murphy for like round 9. I'm not sure.
Well,
We
there
can
has
put that
been
in.
flowers and
Yeah, there's
dates
flowers.
being exchanged.
Chocolates, you know. Maybe if we get
Roses.
some more side by side, you'll see them reach out and like, you know, hold hands for a straight or two. But yeah, no, these two are
Get
no
me worried
scale
then.
walking.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Family friendly entertainment, anyway. Only family friendly.
Of course, PG.
Indeed. As we see here, though, Vertigo right on the rear bumper of Haynes. Haynes? Yes. Hayes. I said it wrong. English, I still stuff it up. You said I wouldn't be able to stuff it up with the names popping up, yet I can still butcher people's names without fail.
Look, it happens. Connor, great to... Yeah, I'm just going to ignore that, Connor. Don't need to. Resurgence, settle down. You've got an extra Datsun on the grid. Jeez. But look at Vertigo. He's all over this here. Vertigo in the Diet Coke. Coke Zero, one of those. One without sugar. BMW, he's going to try and... He thought of a bit of a move there. That was more of a just... I'm here, letting you know.
We'll compromise exit.
Yep. GTR gets a little squirrely on the exit. Standard GTR things. They head up through the S's now. Foot's flat to the firewall.
It's got wicked acceleration. Look at this thing just steal away. I love it in the fact that it's awesome to watch, but when you're trying to get an overtake on this Nissan brick that's ahead, it's so stupid in acceleration. Even when it does sort of make a mistake like we saw it in turn 1, it's just like, whatever. I'll just get the old shifty gears going and I'm out of here.
So we've got Murph there right behind us. Wow, as Vertigo gets the BMW all out sideways and proves why it is the ultimate driving machine. I've been waiting 2 seasons to say that. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you.
It's just this Lambo just doesn't quite have the punch to anywhere really to sort of help it. Just hits that brick wall that we all know it has, and just it's got sort of nothing. Murph will be trying to reach into his bag of tricks here, but I think he's just about all out. The cat's out of the bag, more or less, but three-way battle here. Nissan v Beamer v Lambo. Who's going to come up trumps?
The thing with the Lambo, though, it's one of the most rewarding cars to drive. When you nail that, it feels amazing. Like, it feels so good to drive, but yeah, that invisible brick wall is so frustrating. Especially on a track like this as well, when already it's difficult enough to pass, as we get this absolutely fantastic camera shot as we go alongside the driver's door in the 999 as we head up the S's out, and you just see the elevation change here at Watkins Glen as well. It's quite a hilly circuit. It's got a lot of up and down about it. A lot of real European style corners, as they used to say in the old F1 days. It's a European style track. I've never understood what that meant, by the way.
Is it just because it's in Europe?
Well, yeah, that's what
Are they skinnier than most tracks? Like, isn't most European roads like really small or something? I don't know. I haven't been to Europe.
Yeah, Mark Scape used to say it on the Supercars camera, so it's a European style circuit. Okay.
Yeah, if anyone knows what that means in YouTube, please explain.
Yeah.
Both myself and Muller have no idea. But yeah, three-way battle here. Better go meet in the sandwich. And we're going to see the acceleration of the Nissan again pull away from the Beamer, and the Lambo just doesn't have an answer for these two in a straight line speed. This is nothing to me.
It does. We can just see Saxon just struggling a little bit in the Datsun now. Just not as nice. It does use its tyres a bit. That I do know. It can cook the rears, where the BMW is just so planted. It's just it's not the ultimate speed machine, but it is such a nice race car. And the Lamborghini,
that would have been a speed token owned by the Nissan.
Yep.
Wonder how many of those are left for these front runners in these kind of battles, because obviously you are pushing the limits every time. You are trying to get that, half a tenth better exit than the car ahead, or or might.
I think Vertigo might have got one then. He was,
close.
I didn't see a black tyre touch that outside of that outside curve. Oh, look at this. Murphy's got a big run here. He's going to force Vertigo to go defensive. Has he got an overlap? Has he got an overlap? Oh, it's very close, but Vertigo breaks it nice and deep and just keeps that position again. Murphy must be absolutely sick of the side of that BMW.
you could almost see when they're in that side-by-side position down that straight then, there was almost like that yo-yo effect of like where the Lambo hit that brick wall and just didn't have any more oomph, and the beam is like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, I can just hold you off now. And yeah, it's just, oh, he'd be hoping that he's got like a 7th gear, in all honesty. So I'm pretty sure 6 doesn't work that well in the Lambo.
Speaking, because we got a Coke sponsored car, do you have one of those Coke yo-yos?
Of course.
Yeah, they're the best.
I mean, who didn't? Yeah, the old red center. Yeah, the Fanta one came out as well. I never had the Sprite. I got the Fanta. I remember having the Fanta, and yeah, I remember having the Coke ones. But yeah.
You used to get like a book, and that teach you all the tricks and stuff.
Yeah, I could never do any of them.
Yeah, I could do walk the dog. Yeah.
Did it count if it stopped spinning though?
No. Yeah. No, I could get one to spin.
Did you get it back?
I could do it around the world too. That's easy.
Yeah, you just spin it around and just throw it. Yeah, I finished it. And morning to Raggy. How are you, sir?
Oh, Murphy's super deep on the brakes there. Pulls it up there. Lambo's got pretty solid anchors. Back up, checking with our leader. So it is Ellis still leading the way. 2.3 seconds to the good from Reynolds. And then we've got Monks. There is Gillian 4th, who is carrying a 20-second invoice. Burton there in 5th.
Sorry to interrupt you. Oh. What happened to Convoy? Because he was 4th.
Oh, yes, he was. So what is he?
Because Gillian's 4th, and then
yeah, I think
how did Burton get
past, around? But yeah, I don't know how Burton got around.
That's interesting. It's not that it's really going to matter too much with that pen hanging over Keely's head. But I just sort of, when you were going, listen, hang on a minute, I could have sworn Combo was further up the list. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh, have a look at that front bonnet on that GTR.
We got flappy bonnet?
There is gappage. There is gappage.
Oh, okay. That is flappy bonnet time for the Nissan. So he's obviously decided he wanted to see if his car could merge with a wall.
I'm going to stab in the dark here.
At the bus stop?
Yeah. That's 100% got the telltale signs of a RNG curb bus stop.
So if we go between the two fronts of the Nissans, if we can, Mr. Awesome Glory cameraman, you can see good Nissan versus not so good Nissan. See, good Nissan with a little wall. And then, not so good Nissan. Oh, sadness.
What that's doing actually is actually bringing him back to this pack as well. So,
yes. Oh, that's a speed
Hayes. Yes, that is very much. But Hayes is very much catching up here, and JC is about to have 2 very quick cars on his backside, and no, 3 very quick cars on his backside. So you better get the old hips out. This will be fascinating to watch as well, how this plays out.
Yep, final 10 minutes, roughly, what, 6 laps-ish, give or take. Judging because they'll lap at about a minute 44, minute 45 a lap, so about 6 maybe, 7, I don't know, I'm bad at math, quick math anyway. But definitely this is going to be a 4-car battle momentarily with JC definitely probably going to be the anchor of this, just because of the old flappy bonnet, so he's going to have to, make sure that car's already double the width that it is currently, because these 3 are definitely hot on tail. As we're going to get the replay of...
Here. Oh, look at this, I think I called it.
Oh, that's grass, and slidey, and big bounce.
Huge bounce. Clobber. Scrapage.
Oh.
Crunch.
But we just put the foot down and we keep going like nothing happened. Yeah, let's go. I wonder if his steering's bent. It would have to be.
Yeah, I think there might be some left hand down on that.
just a little bit of left hand down. Oh, stop go 20. Wow, that's a big pen for someone.
Ouch.
I just saw it flash up. I can't see who's got it, but I did see it flash.
Yeah, that's a good size whack.
Apparently, car 33. I don't know who car 33 is. That's a big paddler. So obviously the stewards have deemed something to be very, very nasty for cars involved and have decided to get the big stick out and penalise the car accordingly. How is that man steering straight? Okay, so confirmation, JC steering is straight after the contact. Not sure how.
How's he done that?
I don't know. Maybe because he knew it was going to go left hand down at contact. He automatically compensated before and therefore just bent it back into position.
He's gone for the 1000 IQ crash strat. I like it.
I definitely don't have.
But he is struggling. Yeah, he is definitely struggling there. Oh, Murphy's
struggling. Murph didn't like the rear tyres anymore, clearly, because decides I just want to burn a couple mil off them on exit. As we come in through the heel there. Now we've got good Nissan versus flappy bonnet Nissan. JC still have straight steering wheel somehow. Not really sure how, but let's see what these two are going to do now with Vertigo still tacked onto the back of that police 5.0 car.
Police camera action. Good show.
It is straight.
It is straight. Wow. Who would have thought? How's he done that?
It could only happen to JC. Like, if any of us tried anything remotely close to that, guaranteed we'd have like 90-degree steering. But because of JC and everyone loves JC, you can get away with it.
Cricky Convoy had a moment at the bus stop.
Just
Yeah, moment's one word. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's why I was surprised because there's no pit stops in this race. So I was like, well, something's obviously happened.
Yeah, normally if there's a pit stop and you see JC drop down the list, you know he's just colossally stuffed it up. But no pit stop. Okay, what have you done this time, JC? But he obviously wanted to meet the wall and see how the structural integrity of it was. So I mean, doing a service to all others on track to let you know the walls are solid and intact. They will stop your car. So thank you for your service, JC.
On board with Vertigo at the moment. Tries to get past Saxon here in the GTR and just can get a little close enough to under the rear wing, but just cannot get alongside and get that nose up the inside here. It's right into the Achilles.
We need to petition that to actually happen to be that.
I think so too.
It just works.
I've got their email address here on a website that I use for all the racetracks.
Yeah, just do it. Just be like, look, as representatives of the APAC community in Simrace, we now deem this corner the Achilles. Thank you.
I mean, we're a small little country here in Australia, but we want you to rename the track in America to what we think it should be. Yeah, I think that'll go down well.
It'll be fine. As we see here, Vertigo got a much better exit out of the 90. Definitely right on the back of this Nissan now. But I just don't know whether it's going to have enough legs because the acceleration of that car is insane. But just, I don't think it was enough. Yeah, I think it's going to run out of time coming into the bus stop. But much closer now, both hitting a lot of curb, even a little bit of dirt there. Just it's the nose. Oh, I thought that was actually the nose up the side there. That was going to be a car spun around, but ready to go. No, a bit more patient. Definitely showing that I'm all in your mirrors everywhere you will look. So please don't make a mistake because I'm going to definitely capitalize. Or please do make a mistake so I can capitalize. But very hard to maintain pace, and that when you can see a car just every now and then just glimpse through every aspect of your mirror. Maybe that's why JC drives with no mirror.
Yeah, that's a fair shout as well. I think also what we're seeing is tyre wear. Just seeing the BMW is just using its rubber that little bit better. So it's just got a little bit more grip now. And just keeping it at the front as well, because that gap's down to 1.2 seconds between Ellis and Reynolds. So with 3 minutes 30 remaining, that is, I'm going to say 2 laps.
Yeah, so it's this one. Oh, maybe 3, because they've just gone through the bus stop.
Oh, yeah, true. Maybe We've really got to stop doing that.
Oh, Murphy just slammed the wall there.
Wow, he clobbered that.
Jesus. That is a very unhappy Lamborghini. As tyres were the topic, I dare say that doesn't have tyres left. Because yeah, that was a big side slap in the last corner there. But now, as we see, Hayes here definitely got the run on JC. He's going to be very compromised into the bus stop here, especially with the old flappy bonnet of that Nissan. But Nissan v Nissan, is it close enough? Not going to be close enough. JC won't need to defend that too hard either.
JC doing his best here. Oh, of course, activating his DRS. Probably works the opposite way that you want a DRS to activate. Oh, but I tell you, Saxon's had a huge moment there, and that's allowed Vedder to go, thank you very much. But oh, look at this, and Hayes is going to come back up the inside in the 5-0. Oh, lovely bit of race. Oh, Vedder uses the whole track and some as well. Great exchange.
The eSport line's cooling down the tyres on the grass, but goes wide through the toe here. That would probably opened up a bit of a gap for Murphy if he was close enough, but not quite. But that was definitely a pretty good blow for blow there. Definitely got the entrance out of the bus stop advantage Vettiger, but the acceleration kept that Nissan right up into it, coming in towards the shoe section of the track. So hats off to both of them, keeping side by side and clean racing.
Did you just call it the shoe section?
Yes. I stand by my words.
As we got a bit of camera action at the moment, we're looking at our race leader in camera 2, who is, I think, on his last lap. I believe it'll be very close, but it should be very close to a fantastic performance here from Mr. Ellis. He really hasn't put a foot wrong. Got the jump off the start and has just maintained that gap beautifully. But we are keeping a very close eye on this battle here on camera 1 between Conboy, Hayes, Vettiger and Murphy. And this is all fighting over 6th position. And I think this one might go down to the wire as well. Oh,
it's going to be another lap. He's going to get
there is
one more to go. So we've got some brilliant battles happening here because 1.3 is still Ellis can't really back off yet because as you can see there in camera 2, Reynolds just on the back, just lingering there, going I'm still here, and they're still sort of lapping some traffic at the moment. 30 seconds remaining, so this will be the final lap now as they come across the start-finish line as we get the leaders on the final lap there message. But yeah, the other battle group of these 4 cars, they've got a lap and a half to sort it out. What will happen?
Certainly so. Just a tick over 5 kilometres to go for Ellis as he heads up through the S's for the final time. But keeping an eye on camera 1 here because this is raging. JC's done actually a really good job here to actually hold on to that position as he gets the back end out, classic GTR style. Saxon's really good at squaring off the corner and then using that acceleration of the GTR like right. Oh, he does get the back out a little bit though. But
I think it's going to be lap. Okay. The acceleration just capitalizes on any sort of mistake that they sort of do. It's just it's painful being the car behind. Oh, as it looks like 3 of them just got speed tokens on exit of turn 1 there. But yeah, final time up through the S's, heading towards the bus stop here. But going back on the camera 2, Ellis is still. Oh, they're side by side.
Side by side up towards the bus stop now. Oh, JC just absolutely threw it in then. That was very much a crash or make it kind of style throw. He just absolutely launched it.
But speaking of living and dying, Ellis here has decided life is brilliant at the front. Not made a step wrong the entire race. Got the jump from Reynolds right from the start and has come across the line to take out Split Blue round 1. Reynolds P2. Curley will finish P3 but will not hold it due to the pen. So Monks will actually take over that position once they actually get there. But this battle's still going on for P6. He's got 3 corners remaining.
Certainly does, and it is JC still leading away from Hayes, and Vediger is right behind. Probably that's about it. It's probably going to finish this way unless a colossal, monumental cock-up happens. But it looks like it is going to be line astern, so it is going to be Burton that'll finish in 5th. Convoy's going to finish in 6th. And then we... Oh, Murph,
another side slap.
Yep. He loves that wall. Jeez. It is Convoy, Hayes, Vediger, Murphy, Johnson is your 10. And then Thistlethwaite, Babby, Boxall, Smiles, Bushell, McLaughlin, Callahan, Pethy-Bridge, Wood, Lewis, Kung, Brooker, and Curtis are your top 23. As they all are starting to come across the line now. Looking here at Harry Smiles, our top AM driver who finished in 14th. Great job there, Harry. I will ship over those parts now. Inserted there. That was a Fast and Furious reference. As we are, yeah, no. Looking at Callahan here in the Goku Racing McLaren. And then we've got Chad Pethy-Bridge in the classic BMW livery. BMW, that makes sense. Yep, we'll go with it. And he finishes in 18th, but that is round 1 of the Simrigs.com Sprint Series from Split Blue, run and done.
Yeah, awesome racing. Definitely they've stood on the edge of the seats for the entire hour, really. And good to see that there was some nice battles, like even 8-car long train battles kind of thing. But as we see the final standings, and we're going to go in the overall class. So Ellis takes it out, as we know, followed by Reynolds, and Monks does take that 3rd step in the overall, but the pro position would have been JC taking the 3rd step of that. Silver class, Monks takes it out, followed by Burton and Babby. Down to our Pro-Ams, Hayes takes it over Boxall and Bushell. So that fast, you'll get a tongue twister. And then Smiles, Kong, and Jensen take out the podiums for the AM class. So that is your winners and grinners for round 1 of Split Green. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Blue. Green was last night. I know colours, I swear. Red's next. There we go. I'm smart.
Good work. GG's.
Yay.
Well, thank you everyone watching, and make sure you do stick around for the one and only Split Red coming up. Should be an absolute ripper season from our super quick operators. But other than that, I bid you adieu. Thank you again, Nosik. It's been a pleasure as always.
Oh, thank you, sir, and good to be back. I'll tune in with you guys next week. Hopefully I'll be on track next week. We'll see what happens.
And we'll be going to a short break. But thank you everyone for watching. Stick around for Split Red.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Octane Online Racing Split Red. We are at Watkins, Glen for round 1 of the ACC Simrigs Sprint Series, Season 19. I'm joined by Lindsay Muddle in the booth today and Glen on the broadcasting. So thank you to those two. How are you doing today, Lindsay?
I am doing well, thanks. I'm happy to be here. And yeah, Watkins Glen, it's a good track, competitive track, and I think it's going to be a good late night of racing.
Yes, and we've got a few fast people out there tonight. Split Red has had a bit of a change since last season, with no more Lucas Keys in here, currently driving in green. But we do have some familiar faces, with Sonicus being around as well, rocking that Bentley, which is currently the top 3 cars. They're all Bentleys. So I think that does prove a good point for this track, is that it is a strong track for some cars, and for others, not so much. Now, what times are we looking at hitting tonight with some of these faster drivers, as we do see Bentley do a bit of a drift?
At the top end of the field, like the very sharp end in that top 543s in qualifying, but quite high 43s and then 44s in qualifying for the silver class drivers, and then 45s for the Pro-Am and Am drivers, potentially a few in the 46s.
So quite quick with the top end of this field especially. We are looking at a bit of a warmer track with, at the moment, 25 degrees and it being 33 degrees as well. That is very warm, but they are an optimum track at the moment, which means that they're going to be hitting their peak times with what they can do with this temperature. And it is a dry race throughout, so no variable weather, meaning that it's going to be quite fun. Now, I know it is very interesting coming into that bus stop, especially on the first lap with so many cars around, and we all do have a huge grid of amateurs in Split Red, but I do have faith that they will be able to take this track pretty well without absolutely murdering each other.
Yeah, you would expect to see that everybody will survive, but there might be 1 or 2 casualties. A couple of people might not even make the formation lap. I'm not salty at all. If you watched Blue, you'll know. But anyway, I had to throw it in at some point. But yeah, I think that lap 1 should be pretty okay. It's not a wide track here at Watkins, but there's a lot of runoff. So.
Yeah, and they do have a whole 60 minutes to get around this track and to do overtakes, and so we should, at least at one point, get some really cool racing. Another thing, for those that don't know, patrons get a discount over at Simrigs.com. I believe it is a 5% discount. So if you do want any of your sim racing gear, I recommend going over to Simrigs.com.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that is right. Page, so over here, we've got Sonicus with probably one of my favorite liveries, the Savannah of Africa. I'm going to guess probably going for more of his home, South Africa. So that is actually really beautiful livery. I didn't expect that.
And now we look at this Ford Mustang, which very much looks like a Red Bull livery almost, just with the yellow, which is just the tiniest bit. It actually looks more like the AlphaTauri. If anybody watches F1 in the chat, it looks quite like that, but with the blue and yellow instead of the blue and white. But just quickly touching on the lap times, already a 43.6 set by Samuel, who we're looking at right now. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Very crazy, especially for so quickly at the start. And there's not much in between Shady Samuel and Jean-Pierre, with only 0.098. That is very close lap times. So it's good to see some of that, because that means that we're in for some close racing. As we do have a look down the grid, though, it is a very Bentley-filled grid.
Yeah, and I think that's surprising to see. There was a few Bentleys, holy moly, a 43.1. Anyway, there was a few Bentleys in Split Blue, but not a lot. I know Diabols was one of them, or Ben Curtis, but I don't remember who else. But I think there was a few. But yeah, split red seems to be absolutely littered with them.
I don't know how they drive it. I can't handle that right-hand drive at all. It just takes me off so badly. As we do look at Shady enter the pits. I do see what you mean about it looking like almost an AlphaTauri. It is a Honda. I'm guessing that's... I don't even know what that would be from that Honda livery.
It is an AlphaTauri because if you look at like the little circle, like the circle around the bull, that's like ripped straight off their 2020 car. So I think it's inspired by a couple of different places. But apparently my estimation for lap times are off because we've already seen a 43.1 in this qualifying session. I wasn't looking at the leaderboard at the end of the qualifying session in split blue, but I was told by one of the drivers that was up front, Nathan Monk, that high 43s would be the target for a lot of the quicker guys. So 43.1, that is mental. I was nowhere close to that.
And yeah, that's also remembering that they haven't even been out there for that long, and it is also pretty warm, as I was saying before. It is pretty warm, so to be able to push their cars out there like that's insane. I would be interested to see if we do get a 42 as well. I'd really love to see a 42. That is a extremely fast time.
Yeah, that is absolutely, well, it's not unheard of, but it is very, very, very fast. So it looks like we might have the potential to see it as well, because the Mustang in P1, Shady, he hit the wall. I don't know if you caught this as well when we were looking at him going around the final corner with his 4.5 tenth improvement. He absolutely smacked the wall at the final corner. It's really easy to do when you're just pushing the car to the limits, as we'll see the Bentley of Bartlett go through the final corner. He managed to stay out of the wall, but yeah, it's super easy to just absolutely smash your door into that wall, and we saw him do it, and that's probably at least another 10th in it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably, and yeah, as you're saying, they push it around that last turn to get those keep those tenths, and just sends their car super wide, and a lot of the time they are probably going to hit the wall. But we do have a kind of idea of the way that qualifying is currently going, which it still looks like Shady Samuels is still in first.
Yeah, and he was very, very quick all throughout the week as well in practice, and now he's just completely stretching the legs here. 5 tenths clear of Senakis at this current time, but he's on a lap to try and bring himself closer to that P1 sitting car. But an absolutely phenomenal time there from Shady Samuel in that Ford Mustang, but Senakis is pushing very, very hard. But I don't want to bring up any PTSD for our lovely broadcast here, Glen. But we did also in Trio Series most recently post Watkins Glen, and that was interesting to say the least, with a lot of incidents. But the best drivers really shone through in the middle stage of the race, and I think we're going to see that here tonight, because at Watkins Glen, qualifying isn't the most important thing, especially over the course of 60 minutes or more.
I'm just hoping Sonicus does not end up on his roof once again, which is just always fun.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see any of that. It'd be very hard to tip a Bentley. I would imagine it's much like trying to tip a cow, but anything's possible in the land of sim racing, I guess.
Anything's possible when you have a Sonicus driving. As we do see, he is currently almost 2 tenths up on his time, which will not put him up, but if he can make these last 2 corners work really well, as you do see his time go up, could this get him closer to the pole? It is still 3 tenths behind Samuel, so Shady Samuel's still holding it off, though we've still got another lap, maybe another 2 laps if he wants to try to beat that time. But we do also see Shady Samuel is out on the track as well, trying to probably just clear that time a little bit more. Already almost a 10th up, but you can lose that so quickly at any turn here, and just a little bit of tire slippage. Bus stop can always take you out. You can always just hit it slightly wrong and just not have control of the car anymore.
Yeah, and the bus stop coming up for the Mustang, you've got to eat a lot of the curb in all of the cars up and down the grid, but if you just take that little bit too much, it will bite back. But he manages to clear it quite well, but did lose out a little bit of time in the process. But then now through the outer loop, he is gaining that time right back as he's pretty much even with his current provisional pole position time. As we look at Senakis in the second camera as well, as they are on very similar portions of the racetrack. So we'll look to the Bentley in camera too as they head up the hill. They are closer to finishing their lap, but they have some cars in front of them as well. Hopefully none will get in the way. Not that they have to get out of the way if they're on flying laps, but just hopefully Senakis doesn't catch up to the back of them, as there is only 47 seconds to go left here in this qualifying, and currently Samuel is a 10th up, so it's going to be a big time gain. Senakis is only a 10th up himself, which wouldn't be enough to match the provisional pole time as he heads through the penultimate corner and now towards the final corner. The Bentley of Senakis trying to just wrestle any time he can out of that British machine, and he slides the whole final corner, and it's all gone wrong at the final. Now we cut back to Samuel, who this time doesn't hit the wall out of the final corner. He's gained a couple hundreds, and to the line, what's the lap time going to be? A 1 minute 43.1.
That is another great lap by Shady Samuel, who does... No, there we go. Out. So that is the final lap for Shady Samuel as well. And then Sonicus will also not be in luck for another lap. And with that slide, does not work out well. But in third place, we do have a name that I cannot pronounce. I kind of don't want to even attempt. So I'll hand that over to you.
Yeah, so Salvaggio, I would say.
That's yeah, it seems about right.
Yep. Yeah, normally I'm the one who's asking other people for pronunciations, but I guess it's going to be the other way around, or we just both don't try it. But Rishuti heading around the final corner. Yeah, to the line now. P11 currently across the line. P10 for Rishuti, the 44.3, and that is a massive field spread inside that top 10. 1.2 seconds from first to 10th. That is quite significant, as Chalmers is 2/10 up in his big British boat, heading towards the final sector now, a 10th up, and just heavy braking into heel, and you just got to keep your car active. It very much likes to understeer and just try to get a little bit lazy through this final corner. Sometimes the tyres have just had enough at the end of a qualifying lap here in Watkins Glen, but you've still got to get it through the final two corners, and he lost a 10th. So he's got to have full commitment here if he wants to try and make up any more time, but he's losing time through the penultimate corner into the final corner. Will it be an improvement for Chalmers? No, not quite. It looks like it's just going to be an exact match to his previous best, and it is P12 for Chalmers. But that is the end of our qualifying session here in Watkins Glen.
That is. We do now have our times up for the qualifying that we can actually go through. Just one moment. Starting off with Shady Samuel in pole position, followed... Oh, hanging on. Followed by Jean-Pierre Sonicus. And then Sal Vegemite, as someone said in the chat, is in third place. We got Johnson in fourth, followed by Underwood in fifth. We're going to go to our top 10, by the way. Rally? I'm just going to say Rally. The Rally driver,
I think.
Ralahi in sixth.
I would say.
Maddox in seventh. Bartlett in eighth. Warren in ninth. And Rishuti?
Yep.
Yeah, in 10th. Yeah, we're getting there. All right. So that is our top 10 for this race. Looking really good. And before we do get into any of the race stuff, I do want to do a shout out to Mull, and hopefully he gets better soon. We are all here. If everybody could leave just a nice message for Mull.
Yeah, we wish him well, and hopefully he gets better soon. But now it is time for the grid rundown. Do you want to take this away, Ron?
I do, and yes, as you can see, that Shady Samuel car. I don't mind the colours, and then the Savannah. Oh, beautiful Bentley on the right there. It looks like just a few more simple liveries in this split compared to blue. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're a bit more simple. Because when I was doing blue, there was a lot of colourful and really crazy. But we haven't even got down halfway through the grid as we look at this yellow McLaren. That is definitely. That is a nice livery.
It's out there, to say the least.
But moving through, yeah, no, it's looking like it is going to be a great race. As this field is split up quite weirdly, with a lot of amateurs holding up into the middle of the pack, which should be good room for interesting racing. Is that?
That's a nice looking Porsche.
I do love that wavy design on it. That
That
is
Ferrari,
certainly
ooh, that is nice. I like the gradient on that livery.
It's just a field of McLarens and Bentleys from all I see, but maybe I've just got eyes for the McLaren. The
Couple of
McDonald's
Ferraris in
livery.
there as well. Oh, there's an Audi. That's not something I expected to see.
I'm trying to figure out what's on that livery of that Ferrari. That Audi is hurting my eyes. I don't know who is
Yeah.
driving that. Ben Dyke driving that. Look, I'm not a fan of your livery. I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of the car, so
That
yeah,
is also a nice Porsche. Following up with the other Porsche earlier that we saw, similar kind of design. Looking very nice though. And that is our grid.
Yeah, that's our grid of liveries, and now we're underway for the formation lap here around the wonderful Watkins Glen here in New York. The 5.52 kilometer outlap has begun, and then we have 60 minutes of it, so it's going to be a good one. Blue had a very, very good race, and now we have Red's attempt at it. It's been a pretty good first round so far, and hopefully it can close out the Asia Pacific side with a bang.
Yeah, there's always that hope, and well, hopefully not too much of a bang. I'm not looking for a
Not
crash
too
out.
much of a bang, but like, you know, a good bang, you know.
Well, it's an interesting enough track to start the season on. Look, it's not a Paul Ricard where it's an instant almost U-turn on race start, so it should be fine. At least getting past turn one. We'll see what happens through the S's though.
Yeah, that's always where it gets a little bit tricky, and then the bus stop on the first lap as well. But yeah, it is pretty hot out there. 24 degrees ambient, 31 track, so the drivers are definitely going to have to manage their tyres. Tyre wear is going to be quite high in the cars like the Mustang and the Bentley. I believe the McLaren is pretty grainy around here as well, but the Aston and the Ferrari, as little of them as there are on the grid, they're pretty good on their tyres around Watkins Glen. Oh, that's a McLaren off in a wall on the formation lap.
That is not how you want to start your race at all. That might confuse the grid a little. I'm not sure who that was. Was that Vegemite?
I think it was Salvaggio. But anyway, hopefully that isn't a look into what's to come, as now we come to the race start here in Watkins Glen, rounding the final two corners. It's going to be Samuel leading the way from Senakis side by side on the grid as they are about to head around the final corner and get ready for green flag action. And 60 minutes ahead of us here in split red. Mustang, Bentley, McLaren, Bentley is your starting four as they round the final corner of the grid, staying 2 by 2, holding 80 kilometers an hour as they head towards the line. The race start sequence has now begun, and as we get ready for racing in Watkins Glen, the green flag is flying, and we are ready to get underway as Senakis already trying to make an amount for the lead here as they head down through turn one. Samuel and Senakis going side by side as we head up towards the S's now. The Mustang has the legs in a straight line. The Bentley has the acceleration as they head up through the S's. There's a little bit of wheel rubbing there, but it looks like Senakis has taken the lead from Samuel as further back we see Salvaggio fighting away with Johnson as well as we head up towards the bus stop. And now it's going to be Samuel trying the long way around here at the bus stop. It's a risky maneuver to try pull off. Senakis just placing his Bentley in the right place of the circuit to hold the lead after what was a very good start as the yellow flag. It's the 164 car who is going slow. That is Rasciuti in the Ferrari who's falling down the order at the bus stop, and that is a very, very damaged Ferrari.
And that is a lot of what you can expect from the bus stop, though. It's such a tight entry into that turn to hold your best line there, and it just leaves no room to really go side by side through there unless you're really taking it slow. And just ends up like that. But we do have our order coming out of the first half of lap 1 at least, and it is Sonicus just leading the track, and Shady has dropped down to second, with Johnson gaining a position pretty much instantly on the McLaren, which would probably be pretty damaged from that early crash during the formation lap. But they are going to be finishing this first lap in that order.
Yeah, so it was a pretty action-packed lap 1 with Senakis taking the lead down through turn 1. It was very brave. The long way around does work here, though, as obviously he's the first one across the line. He sets the fastest lap. Is in the background there. That is Rahali trying to go down the inside on Salvaggio as we head through turn 1. You can use all the exit curb you like, so you have the space to work with. And now the Aston Martin says thank you very much. That would be Bartlett, who makes up the place now up through the S's, and now it is going to be the McLaren of Maddox trying to make a move here as well. The Bentley of Underwood could try get involved now as well, as Salvaggio is just falling down the order as we head towards the bus stop. The Bentley goes down the inside at the bus stop. He has to back out of that one, just doesn't have the confidence in the braking zone. It would have been a very good move if he was able to pull it off, but he has the time. He has 57.5 minutes ahead of him to pull that one off, so he knows it's just better to survive. But yeah, Salvaggio really not having the race start he would want, as that's another car slow, and is that car 88? I think it is Bolt going slowly at the bus stop.
Probably taking their time. I wouldn't be surprised if there was another almost crash at the back there. As we do have a replay, and this is from lap 1, just as you see there, just the clip. It's the smallest clip, but at that speed coming in to bus stop with Pudley. Here we go as they come in, and yeah, it's just does not look good. But that is probably one very, very damaged Ferrari, especially after that spin, and that'll be up for the stewards to decide of what exactly happened there.
Bartlett getting through on Salvaggio. I realised I was calling him Underwood before. No, Underwood's off in the distance as the other Bentley of Chalmers now hits the wall on the exit of the final corner, but he might still try and attack Salvaggio. No, not quite, with the exit he had down into turn 1, but Gabriel Salvaggio really struggling here in the opening stages, and I would imagine it's something to do with the relation of the formation line.
Oh, most definitely. I'll tell you what, the McLaren, as someone who's driving the McLaren this season, does not do well with damage on the front. As 99% of the cars don't do, it just doesn't have the speed, especially against a car like the Bentley, which just takes off down the straights. It's not going to really perform that well against it. The Porsche still has a chance of keeping high speed on the straights, but especially with the damage, you're not going to really be able to outpace a Bentley on the straights, and it's just not going to work out well. But we are moving to the Underwood, who is trying to hold off another McLaren of Maddox, who they look like they're racing hard. That Twix livery looks like it's slightly off camber. I'm not sure what happened there.
If you can tell what it is, it does the job, I think, is the thing to take away, is Maddox trying the long way round. McLaren not able to outbrake the Aston Martin, which is very good under braking, so it's going to be a mission to try and get past Underwood, but it does look like Maddox is a little bit more punchy here in the opening stages, as it was overall pretty calm of a race start here around Watkins Glen. So hopefully it stays that way and Underwood can carry on, as I've just comms cursed it, as he has a massive drift through the final corner. That allows Maddox to try and get through, and now the Bentley of Bartlett is going to try his luck down the inside on Underwood, and that is the Bentley through into 6th place there as we head towards the S's, but Underwood is going to fight this one back as they head up the hill. The Aston Martin on the inside is just going to use the power it has to try and get it done, but the Bentley is no slouch in a straight line either. As we head down towards the bus stop, it is going to be either clear before the braking zone or don't go for it at all, and I think that Underwood is going to hold on to the place. I think I saw in the background there. Oh no, it's a massive moment. 3 cars out on the grass. I saw them going side by side as, oh no, what has happened?
There is certain death before bus stop. It looks like a 3-car incident that's turned into a lot more damage, which we will get a replay soon. That was a good race going on, and jeez, jeez, that's all I can say. That was a lot.
I called it too early. I comms cursed it.
Always a good comms curse. That looked bad, and that was before we even reached bus stop. So I'm wondering if there's a bit of confusion coming up ahead, and people just trying to get into that side by side for the bus stop, and they just probably a little bit of just a little tap or whatever. But as it is known for split red, it is split blood, so you do expect a good fight.
Yes, I'm just really wondering what happened.
But as we are currently on Brownette, who's just having a nice casual drive. I believe Brownette was also part of that incident. I think there's a lot of damage on the front of that Porsche right there, who's a little bit loose on, yeah, just look at the damage on the front of that Porsche. Big incident there. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a few cars go for a pit. That was a lot of chaos. Yeah, there we go. We're seeing a few of the cars involved in that incident just pitting now, including some of our others. And here we are for the replay. As we come up. This is the start of it. Oh, okay. Looks like that Bentley just had a bit more speed than they realized. Oh, and Brownette just got taken out. That's just unlucky for Brownette. There's nothing that he can really do in that situation. And ooh, not the. I believe that's the Bentley not realizing how much speed, and just the. Oh no, McLaren just. I can't really.
It's hard to tell because either the McLaren got tapped and started spinning around, or he just moved over to try to lead the Bentley space and it all went wrong. And then the Bentley wasn't able to slow down in time, collected another couple of cars behind him, and that is a very, very unfortunate incident there for all parties involved, and that has caused a lot of damage for a lot of cars.
And that rejoin by Brownette wasn't the greatest either after the bus stop coming out. That's a bit on the line. It's a bit dangerous to come out right there, especially with so many cars racing through there. He's very lucky that a lot more cars slowed down after. But moving on from that situation, which was very sad for a lot of the racers out there, we are seeing some fastest lap set by Peach, with a 144.3 is the current fastest on the track, which is a really, really good race pace.
Yeah, and we saw just the lap before Samuel had the fastest lap of the race, so I think that Sinakis and Samuel are just going to be trading fastest laps here. They're fairly similar pace between the Mustang and the Bentley, and the two drivers are on the absolute limit as well, so it's really, really just going to be a case of who is able to stay more consistent and who can look after their tyres better, as the gap between the 2 leaders is only 0.4 of a second, and that just shows the gap between the two of them. They're in a league of their own pretty much. 6 seconds out in front of not a replay.
You're right. 6 seconds is a big gap from second to third. That is showing just the pace of Shady and Peach there at the
yellow
front.
Flag.
There is a yellow flag somewhere on the track. Looks like someone stopped after bus stop. Oh, yep, there we go.
Yep.
That was dangerous to do a turnaround. That car looks like it has been through all sorts of trouble. Don't want to say exactly what, but it looks like they've gone through bus stop and just spun out of control. Which it seems like is a common occurrence, especially you come out of bus stop just slightly wrong, you tap that grass, it's spun, and it does not work out well. But it's interesting to see that these times across the board are not too far apart. You're not really seeing much more than maybe a 2-second gap among that whole middle from like 6th to 20th. Most people are still pretty close. It's good to see.
Yeah, the field spread being close together is good to see, and I think that that is just going to set the tone for the rest of the season. As we now do see a replay, it is going to be the Porsche, and it's just a bounce on the exit of the bus stop. Just too much curb. You bounce up into the air, and then we get to see the rejoin as well. I think, as this is when we cut to it, he just spins across the track when there's a car right there. Oh my god, that was very, very close there, and the 222. Maybe not the smartest of rejoins, and just unlucky curb bouncing there for Zach Warren.
I wouldn't be surprised if the stewards do take a good look at that one, because that was, but you see that car just sliding now. I'm going to guess that damage, especially on the rear, is not going to help with the oversteer on the Porsche. And there is there's the collision from lap 1. That would be the Bentley against the Ferrari. So it was determined that the Bentley was at fault of Pete Chalmers. They're not going to do much for that Ferrari that was dead. And we do see BMW sliding.
Oh, that is the BMW of... I don't even want to try and say that. Yeah, Udistera. And yeah, that is a huge spin there on the exit of the bus stop, taking another victim here. And we are only 12 minutes in, so the bus stop definitely not messing around. And yeah, that was very, very close to causing another huge accident here in Watkins Glen. And it looks like maybe a bit of Shades of Trio series is sneaking in here.
Look, it's not a horribly hard track, but it is also not an easy track. This is a very high speed track with a few sharp turns, but also on most of the high speed turns, you just take it slightly wrong and maybe tap the curb wrong or go a little bit too wide. That's could be the end of your race, and we are seeing a lot of that. But we're also looking at some good racing as well. This Bentley and Ferrari, both from the AM class, closely followed by another AM driver, they are pushing it really, really hard and doing some good racing from what I can see. And it looks like they're keeping it also very, very clean. And that's a good thing to see. A lot of these AM class drivers just working on their craft and improving as the races go on.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most important things about AM class. It's not just about getting quicker. It is also about just developing your racecraft, because maybe you're fresh off the back of the OOR Rookie Series and you've gotten to a reasonable point, and then being an AM class is just continuing to sharpen your skills. And I think that it's really cool to see these guys improve over the course of a season, or even multiple seasons in the case of a few drivers, and develop into the drivers we see in front of us right now.
Absolutely, and I know that when I came up from Academy, it was a little bit scary, but we do see the Ferrari take a dive onto it and does take the position, and that's coming out of the corner. So that Ferrari is just of who's that? That's Gob? Yeah, we'll go with Gob. Gob overtaking Brickley in the Bentley, so that's a really nice overtake by the Ferrari there. Very clean and pretty much on point of what you want to do at this track. Is you just got to find the right turn and just take the opportunity when they leave it just a little bit too wide, or brake just a little bit early, because a lot of people do brake early coming into these turns, especially during race time, just to preserve their tires and everything. So if you're willing to take that risk and go for it. And we are seeing a Porsche in the background there go for an overtake on T1. I do think or hope that was successful. It is still side by side.
As they head up the hill. Oh my god. The Audi struggling to stretch its legs in a straight line, even against a Porsche here, as it's the blue flags waving. But and yeah, it is for this Porsche actually, because if you look at the leaderboard on the left hand side there, that Porsche is nowhere to be seen on that leaderboard. So this is a blue flag Porsche as well, and the Audi just struggling to find its way through.
Really? Oh, okay, yeah. Not that. Makes sense. I see, look, I'm looking at this Audi, and I don't like the livery. It reminds me, I don't know what I don't like.
It's it looks like the VW, like the Golf GTI, like livery, like the wrap, where it was all the different colours on all the different sides of the car.
It's
I
very
I always forget what
you'd
it's
be able to
called.
you'd be able to pick that car out of a lot of others and be like, yeah, I know who's driving that just because of the colours on it. But like, no, I don't know what the go for was with the design. Look, it's not my favourite, but you know, people have preference. But I'm an occurrence for this driver, so you know. But that look, to even push an Audi around this track or around any of the tracks is pretty good anyway. The Audi's an incredibly difficult car to drive, and I like to say it has 0 TC. So that's just what it is.
What was it? A yellow flag, car 7. So Watkins Glen claims another victim, and it is yeah, Udistira again has got Glen feeding the pronunciations into my ear because I forget it every single time. It's a tricky name, if I'm honest.
A lot of these names, see, in blue, I feel like a lot of names were simpler, or I
Yeah.
just knew a lot more of them. But
yeah.
I'm struggling here, but it's good to at least be able to somewhat get them right. But yeah, Udistira again with another yellow flag. I'm gonna guess just another spin, which this track can just do, and it wastes your tires away so quickly because every turn feels like you could just slide. And if you don't take bus stop right, you're puncturing your tires almost every lap, and it's just well, not puncturing, but lowering the pressure in them and everything every lap, and it just doesn't end up going well. But we are seeing the sorry, my English broke for a second. We are seeing the field split up a little bit more, and you are seeing the pace difference between all of the cars, as we do see the first two drivers, Sonicus and Samuel, almost catching the first, I believe, proper blue flags of the race.
Yep, and traffic management is a very crucial skill around a track like Watkins Glen, and I keep referencing that fateful day that was the Trio Series race, but traffic played a huge part in it, and I think that we'll see it play a huge part in the lead battle as well here in Watkins once again. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sinakis and Samuel negotiate the traffic, and if they just play it patient, wait, or if they just absolutely go for it, much like we saw, I believe it was Kafil Slade down the inside of all of the lap markers in the trios race. Will it be that, or will it be patience? We'll have to find out as we actually look to Sinakis versus Samuel here. And yeah, they are approaching quite a lot of traffic, so it's going to be tricky for these two. And I think the one thing they don't want to be doing is battling through the traffic, as that is another yellow flag. Didn't catch what car that was.
All right, but no, look at the pace on these two, and only to have 5/10 between them, they're racing really, really hard up here, and leaving third place behind, who's now almost 10 seconds, 9.5 seconds behind. That is a decent-sized gap that they're putting on to third place, so they will just be battling it out. Probably my best guess would be trying to preserve tires a little bit. I know the Mustang uses quite a lot of fuel, especially trying to get around this track. It's very, very close to running out by end of race, I believe, even at full tank. So they're going to be wanting to play it somewhat safe. But the front of the field has changed a little since what they qualified as, with Sonicus taking first over Shady Samuel, who did get pole position in qualifying. Salvaggio almost gone, I believe, from the incident early on. Underwood is in the exact same spot, which is good. And Relahi?
Yep.
Relahi all the way up to third from 6th position. So that is your update from where they were previously to now for the top 5 at least.
Yeah, and
we are up a little.
And we are a third of the way into the race, 20 minutes in, and 40 minutes to go. So quite a lot going on, but also not a lot going on at the same time. I think is what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of crashes, a lot of moments, but because it's early days, everybody's trying to protect their tyres, not too much wheel-to-wheel action just yet. And I think these leaders are just pacing themselves right now, and I think we'll see the gloves come off on every car up and down the grid as the time ticks over more and more and more. And that's one of the great things about a 60-minute race. It doesn't have to always be action, it's still entertaining because of all the other factors going on in the race.
Yeah, 100%, and it's almost always constant action. Here in Split Red, from what I've heard, always something to watch, especially these faster drivers, because they like to take some interesting lines occasionally when they are fighting. So that will be very fun to watch as we get towards the middle and end of the race. But for now, another penalty has been out for Robert Maddox.
Yeah, 15-second time penalty for causing collision on lap 4. Would that be the... No, lap 4 wasn't a massive 3-car crash, was it?
Oh, it might have been. It was pretty early on. Yeah, I'm going to say it was. Let's just go with it was.
No, because wasn't that between a Ferrari, a Bentley, and the McLaren of Salvaggio?
Maybe. Yeah. It's between a few cars, that's alright.
Anyway, it's a penalty. It's a penalty for something on lap 4. Yeah,
But that will shake up the grid towards the end of the race as well. These penalties will, because they aren't pinning as well, will obviously take effect immediately after race. So we'll see the true positions of the cars after the race ends.
Yeah, and it's going to be now the job of Maddox to just try and pull as much time as he can to all the cars around him and just minimize the damage from that penalty. Right now, P4 on the track, but after penalties, probably about P9 or P10, so he's got some work to do, but he has the time to do it, and now it's the time to ramp up the pace.
Yeah, 100%. They'll want to be getting that pace up, just making up that space so they can at least stay in the top 10, because those top 10 positions give you quite a lot of points. And if they're fighting for that championship, which I believe is a 6-race season this season, as we are jumping into a replay between Macaulay and Eagle. Oh, and that right there is why it's so dangerous to go side by side into bus stop.
Yeah, it's a very tight string of corners, a lot of curbs, and you always understeer out a little bit in the middle, and that's what we saw the Mustang do. He wasn't squeezed too much, but just a little bit of curb and a little bit of understeer caused the contact, and I just happen to say that is, in my opinion, a bit of a racing incident.
Yeah, probably. But it definitely shows why bus stop can be such a dangerous place for side-by-side racing. And as we do get further and further in, as people want to be making those moves very quickly, we'll see more risks like that taken, and just that could have ended a lot worse had it not been handled so well from both sides, with the minimal contact and just the being able to keep it under wraps without spitting out through there. As we are seeing Underwood currently in a battle with Bartlett, I believe, coming around hill, turn 12 of the track, which is one of my least favorite turns because it feels super, super bad every time I do it, but that is all right.
As a fellow McLaren driver this season, I can concur. You just always feel like you're sliding the entire way through. Not that it doesn't feel like that in other cars, but in the McLaren, you just always feel like you're about to spin. And it is, it's not very pleasant, whereas in the Aston, you feel just that little bit more connected to the road. So at least, if you're going to spin, you know you're going to spin. You don't just feel nothing on the steering wheel.
Really wish we could get like a measurement on how close they get to that wall on the final turn, because that, like some of those cars, except for the ones that are hitting it, some of those cars get very, very, very close and manage to keep it off the wall. So yeah, incredible driving to keep these high speeds around and just keep up that pace.
As that's the incident we just saw on the replays of Arca getting a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision on lap 12. So, as the Bentley goes off the track as well, that is Bartlett, who's gone off the racetrack. Hopefully the rejoin was fine. Yeah, it was. and now he's going to be under pressure from Chalmers, who also has a 15-second time penalty. So Bartlett's in a penalty sandwich. Maddock 2 cars in front, Chalmers right behind him. Both have penalties, and now he's going to have to fight one of the drivers who does have a penalty, and it's going to be Bentley versus Bentley action. So right-hand side drive versus right-hand side drive.
It's Bentley on Bentley on Bentley. This is a full-on Bentley sandwich with no fillings. It's all just bread. And they are going... You will see the difference in driving styles between drivers for the Bentley itself. It's kind of amazing to look at these different cars there's different drivers where it's the same car, but almost every driver has just that little bit of a difference in how they decide to handle how the car feels. You see some drivers try to push it more and let it slide, while other drivers kind of just try to take it a bit easier, which does work out sometimes, but yeah, you will see the different driving styles, especially between Potty Chalmers and Bartlett. Yeah, these two drivers, I don't think I've seen be too similar.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that the line
That's the camera I
choices-
wanted.
Oh, that is the camera. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, so this will just show how close they get on that final turn, especially just... Oh, that is a tap of the wall. Not to take away from the amazing bus stop action, but just look at that beautiful camera angle.
Yeah, as nobody rounding the final. Yeah, nobody coming. You asked, but we received half of it, but we didn't get the cars to go with. So maybe we'll come back to that soon.
That's alright. We do get to see more amazing driving between these Bentleys, as we are seeing Bartlett build up a bit more of a gap on Chalmers here, just a little bit. Still only a few tenths in between. Now it's gone up to 7 tenths, so gaining a little bit, and I believe Bartlett will be going once again for an attempted pass on Underwood as soon as he possibly can. Which you can see that he's pushing it a lot harder, which you do after an incident. You do see that red and you want to push harder. So Bartlett would be doing that right now, and you can just see him going wide and sliding a little bit on every corner, which is not going to do well for later race. Yeah,
and tyre management is it's absolutely crucial. Watkins, Glen, a lot of other tracks do as well, especially in hotter conditions like this with 30-degree track, but Watkins, Glen is a tyre killer. And you get a lot of wear and a lot of heat in your tyres, especially when you go up through the S's in Sector 1. The tyres love to just heat up under the stress that you experience when going up that hill. And you'll just see through this section, which we're looking at right now, the tyres just slowly get more and more and more yellow, and yeah, it's not good for the tyres at all.
Yeah, no, and look, if I had a choice between saving tyres or making as many passes as possible, I'd probably choose making as many passes as possible. But it comes down to that decision, and it's whether you want to have tyres at the end of the race and risk losing it in those last few laps, or whether you want to just push the car as hard as you can and see what you can do.
Yes, I did just notice something a little bit peculiar between the top two's delta for a couple of moments before they reached the sector tick over. It was separated by less than 0.03 of a second for a whole sector. I mean, obviously it's not live time, it's sector by sector. So clearly, P1 and P2, so Senekis and Samuel, went side by side at some point. So maybe Samuel wants to get past that big Bentley soon enough.
I'll tell you what's not fun. Going behind a car and feeling just the watt from the car in front, especially through, like, bus stop, for example, going through there with the car in front of you was not the most comfortable feeling, and you'd want to get out of that because it's not good for your tyres to be stuck behind someone else for a whole race. So I do believe, yeah, as you were saying, Shady Samuel will probably want to be making a pass soon just to kind of show that he's there at least, or push himself into that first position and hopefully for himself win the race.
And we're halfway through the race as well, so this is now, I think, where we'll see the drivers who were saving tyres begin to push and push and push even more than they already were, because this is now, they've probably done their tyre saving earlier on, and now they're just going to give it absolutely everything that they possibly can in the final 30 minutes, with maybe a bit of caution for the next 15 when it comes to the overtaking portion, as we head through the chute, and it just looks like Samuel really just wants to attack Thanakis as we head up the hill through toe, and it's a very, very tricky corner. The car feels like it's sliding a lot in the mid corner before you get back on the power and it plants itself back onto the ground, but the Mustang is quicker than the Bentley in a straight line, but the Bentley is no slouch in the acceleration zone, so it's going to be very tricky, and it's going to require a lot of patience from Samuel to try pull off the move, and I think we'll see it at some point soon enough.
There's no doubt though that Page will definitely attempt to keep his place here. He is the previous season's winner for Split Red. Not by a lot, I believe. I believe it was a pretty close one, but according to what I'm reading, he was the previous season's winner. I feel like I'm reading it, yeah. So he'll be fighting for that. Was close.
Yeah, Samuel just, he overcooked it on the braking a little bit there. Maybe the frustration is starting to creep in here for Shady Samuel, but he's got another 30 minutes to try and make this move. But I do understand sitting behind a Bentley can be quite frustrating, and sitting behind any car can be really, really frustrating. But I think, especially a car as big as the Bentley, it's really, really annoying, because if you're right up behind them, much like Samuel has been on Thanakis, you can't see pretty much at all. You're going off pure instinct and markers on the side of the track. So right now, the little bit of space he has, I imagine he'd be appreciating quite a lot.
Yeah, that space will be very, very nice. Just that little bit of pressure off. Even though it's not a huge amount, it's enough to give you a little bit of calmer nerves. But now he's just got to work to keep that gap and try to make an advantage of that.
Yeah, and that's just the hard part, isn't it? It's fine to try and get a gap after a mistake, but trying to pull away from a car that's chasing is very, very, very difficult. And I think we'll see he's really going to struggle to pull away, and we can already see the gap between the top two closing back up slightly as Thanakis actually just goes off the track there, and probably a little bit of a track limits. I'm not sure if it would be a warning or a no time gain, but yeah, the top two, they're pretty much inseparable, as I don't think they're pushing to the maximum extent. So when Samuel made his little mistake at turn one, he's probably just turned it up and just closed right up to the back, and they also have traffic in front of them.
Yeah, and this is your thing though, like, Shady's not leaving that gap open for too long. They're getting close once again. And yeah, as it was said in chat, unless he's really looking after those tires, they're going to be cooked soon. And there's still 26 minutes left of this race to go. As we are seeing them get held up a little bit by blue flags coming out at the end of bus stop. And it is once again Udistira. I almost had it. Udistira. We see Udistira stream again. But yeah, that was a little bit of a hold up from the blue flag then, but not much you can do coming out of bus stop there.
Yeah, if you try to get out of the way too aggressively, like we just saw, it nearly ended up in disaster. But the BMW got out of the way in time. Udistira just steering clear of the two leaders, mind my pun. The person we're looking at right now broke me last season at Paul Ricard, and now the puns have never, they're always popping up in my head. So that's the Peach effect, everybody.
Peach effect, yep. Fair enough. I'm looking at Maddox here though, who's, I believe, got a decent gap on Underwood. Which means that he could, within the next 25 minutes, make enough space to make that 10-second penalty not really matter.
Yeah, and I did notice that earlier on in the race, but it has been 15 minutes since the gap was 2.5 seconds, and now it's only over 5 seconds. He's going to be hard-pressed to continue to push on. He can pull it off, though, if he keeps at his current rate.
Yeah, 100%. And But the gaps behind that still close between Bartlett and Chalmers, also holding a pretty close race, who are also catching up to Underwood there, which will slow Underwood down, leaving enough room for Maddox later on. But they are racing very, very hard. I do wonder if Chalmers is going to go for a move soon, or if Bartlett's going to catch up to Underwood and we might see a double overtake.
Yeah, and it's just a question, isn't it? I mean, we're approaching the dying stages of this round one here for Split Red, and still that top 6, sort of top 7 area hasn't had too much wheel-to-wheel action since the opening laps, and it's all because these guys are just staying really, really patient and picking their move, picking the point where they're going to go for it. But I fear if they wait too long, that they won't have the time to pull it off, because they're going to get it just that little bit too separated. As we already see, the gaps aren't far away, but they're also not overtaking range, so somebody's going to have to put their foot down at some point soon, as we see Klopper going very, very slowly.
Not too sure what happened there, but I'm sure we'll go back to it in a few seconds or maybe a minute. But we'll go back over here to Underwood for now, who is... Bartlett looks like he's really, really gaining on Underwood. I'm wondering if there's a few, as you see there, a few mistakes coming out of that Aston, whether it's understeer or oversteer, I'm not too sure. But he looks like he's going to try holding on for that space there.
Yep, so I think that Bartlett is going to be on the attack soon enough, as that would have been the perfect time for the wall camera, which we saw absolutely nothing from earlier except for a little wall tap. Yeah, the Bentley getting very close to the wall, clearly pushing a lot, and it's going to be Aston versus Bentley power, both British cars here in the States, in New York. Watkins Glen is now, we're going to see the replay. It's the Porsche just attacking the McDonald's 720S, hits the inside curb, gets the save nearly, and then it snaps back around, and nearly a trip into the barriers, but it was good to keep it out of the wall. Yeah, it was nicely held.
Nicely held. And that Porsche, well, not just that Porsche, but any Porsche is very, very dangerous with its oversteer. So being able to keep that off of the wall and everything in that corner. Sorry, I'm just still trying to figure out, is that a Twix livery or like a timeout livery? I don't know what's going on with that one.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So it's the livery. Same livery from last season, different car. Okay, that does make sense. Yes. Yeah, so that's why you don't use the same livery on a different car, people.
Yeah, this is how it ends up looking, and it's a spectacle though. Like it's something to look at. It's something to pay attention to, I would guess. I mean, it's gotten them a whole conversation about it, so maybe just keep it that way and we won't stop talking about it. Who knows?
It grabbed my attention enough.
Yeah, marketing strategies here.
But we are looking at still just it's not really much for closing the gap. You just see on some of these turns just that slight later braking and everything is just giving enough of time for Bartlett to slightly make up that gap. But we are looking at Shady Samuel less than 2/10 behind Sonicus over at the front as well. I'm wondering if pass is going to be inopportune.
Yeah, as they're separated by under 2.5 tenths, as you were saying. So I think Samuel knows that with the Mustang and its tyre wear, he has to make a move soon, as we look to Sonicus versus Shady Samuel. And just look how close behind that Mustang is, just braking ever so slightly later, taking a little bit of a different line, a little bit of a just different everything. And it's the difference in car and driver. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Samuel decides to attack this one as the two leaders head towards the penultimate corner of Watkins Glen. Could we see a swap for the lead anytime soon? I'm not sure. Here we go. Here's the wall camera for Jaden. Oh, just look at that not Mercedes. What am I on about? Look at that Bentley so close to the wall. Senakis not giving it an inch, and that is why it went from just under 2.5 tenths to nearly 8 tenths of a second gap.
Hey, what? Glen has made a very happy man out of me tonight. So I'm very happy with that camera. That just shows how close they're getting and how hard they are pushing. Because one mistake there, one little bit of slide, just a little bit too much of acceleration, and that's a wall. That is a fresh wall for a dead car. The Bentley takes these curbs way better than the McLaren can, because I swear if I hit the curbs the same way in the McLaren, I think I would have been on the other side of the track by now.
Yeah, that's because it weighs about 700,000 tons approximately, and that's without BOP. So that is why it just eats the curbs. It doesn't actually take the curbs; it just eats them. Has them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what the Bentley does.
I'm admiring that Savannah livery, and I got to see a nice little trailer for the Savannah livery as well, which I really enjoyed. But it's nice. It's pretty simple, but I think it works perfectly, and it's really
Car 7.
really nice. I think that's your favorite driver.
Yeah, you're having a bit of an unfortunate race. Instead of getting a how close to the barrier camera, we just had the drone go through the barrier. So yeah, we got some camera direction magic. That's what Glen provides. All the good stuff, all the magic, or whatever else you need. And he's gotten us through just over 40 minutes of the race so far. Only 17.5 minutes to go. And then he can, I don't know, go sleep, whatever he does after he finishes. Yeah.
Yeah. But back to the racing up ahead. It does look across the whole field, even between Bartlett and Chalmers and everything, there's been a few gaps just made up by a lot. Like, I'm not seeing many cars within a second of each other at the moment. Even Shady Samuels has dropped behind quite a little bit. The closest I'm currently seeing is really Underwood and Bartlett.
Yeah, nothing really.
They're leaving still a little bit of space. I feel like a lot of these cars might be even waiting for the last 10 minutes, or they're just all pretty much in the positions where they just based off of pace that should be at. And I'm wondering if we will see any more close racing, as we do have a yellow flag up ahead on the corner that Bartlett and Underwood are approaching.
293 car. Oh, that is scary. That is a very, very blind corner when a car is placed right on the apex. It's a mobile chicane, as that is Matthew Asplin. And they reverse now, so they have a little bit of a gap. Good rejoin from them, as long as they get going again before the pack of cars behind them approaches. They don't, but they're going to just try and slot in like they're merging onto the freeway. And the McLaren just slotting in.
I think that was as
rejoin.
Clean as you can get it. I think that's as clean as you can get it there.
That's about as good as you can get for a rejoin. As there's another yellow flag, car number 99.
That looks like a pit right there. Someone in the pits possibly. Yep.
Yeah.
That would be Igor, which I'm probably from Damage. I'm a friend of Igor Zavaka, so yes, it's very much Damage. Hopefully he'll be coming back out of the pits to finish the race though. But yeah, it looks like a bit of a not too horrible race, and a few incidents, which is expected. You're racing very tightly, and like it's a very high-speed track, as I was saying earlier. So cars are going to get close, and it is going to be dangerous at some points. It's just a matter of how well everyone is able to keep it away from each other.
Yeah, and another thing is, it's the first round of the season. Everybody's just shaking off the rust. It has been quite a while, and obviously this is to round out the year, so yeah, shaking off the rust before we go into 2025. So yeah, set of course for Evo on the way. A lot of exciting things in sim racing, new equipment as always, and yeah, ACC definitely giving us a good show. Will still be giving us a good show into next year, I'm sure, and then yeah, it's going to be a good next season as well. But right now, we have plenty of rounds ahead of us to finish out the year. We're heading into November tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's been an amazing year as we are looking at a replay, sorry, of Igor's Vaka, and
that is
that is the turn one that I was talking about, and it looks like it's speeding into pits as well. Look, I don't think it's worked out well for him right there. But that is exactly what I was talking about. That slide that you can get into into the final turn, it could just take you out completely. And he's just lucky he got straight into the pits. But I don't think a penalty is going to serve him well, so I'm not sure he's going to want to continue the race after that, especially with that much damage as well. So, but from what we saw from him earlier, he looked like he was having a pretty decent race as well. So a bit sad to see him out.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate seeing another driver crash or technical issues, whatever it may be. It's not a good time. It's just, it's unfortunate. It's just the reality of it, and crashes are always going to creep in at some point. So for it to luckily not collect another driver, it was very close. It's better than nothing, but still not something you want to be seeing.
No, absolutely not. But we're looking at these lap times, and Peach is still holding the fastest lap on the track. I don't think many people are going to be able to push it that fast. As he does go wide, oh, that's leaving enough room for Shady to get really, really close. This is not really the point when you want to start making mistakes. Unless, yeah, no, it's definitely wide because Shady was a lot further behind than that. Yeah, not the point. As we're coming into the last 12 minutes, 13 minutes of the race, that really, especially up at the front, even across the whole field, but especially up at the front, you don't want to make mistakes now. As we're looking at a replay of Asplin, and this is where, yeah, so this is where it happened, where it's turned sideways, yeah, not, and then just trying to get the car turned around and just straight to wall, because there's not enough space there to just get the car turned around quick enough, especially when you've got traction and control and everything. Your car's not going to want to turn quickly. You're not going to be able to do a burnout out of it. So not very lucky. So that will definitely be a penalty on the other driver, which I believe was just received. Yep.
Stefano Rasciuti in the car, 164, gets a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. And Rasciuti has been in the wars on lap 1. Not his fault, but now that incident was his fault, and he's just gonna have to pick up and move on to the next round after 11 minutes from now, or basically 12. But yeah, just a little bit of a misjudgment. It happens from time to time. But moving back to little battles here, and P5 and P6 very close, still Underwood and Bartlett, and it's going to be interesting to see as we see Brickley trying to move the long way around for the AM lead, and through the bus stop, the Bentley just not able to pull it up on the 72 Ferrari. I don't even want to try and say that, because it's either going to be go. It's just go. Okay. I thought it was going to be something like really elaborate, and I was going to make myself look like an idiot. Because it happens time to time.
I believe someone in chat said it was pronounced Goab. I'm throwing that out there. Someone has said in chat that it's Goab, so I'm going to go with that. That's all right. Tim. We'll say Tim for now. Tim in the Ferrari, holding on strong in front of the Bentley and Brickley, which is some great driving between these three amateur AM-class racers, holding it in almost to the top 10. So I'm not sure whether they should be still in AM with the racecraft and the speed that these drivers have, but it is first race of the season, so we will see as they move up whether there will be any promotions for them.
Yeah, it's something that always happens throughout a season, early and late on. Drivers get moved around, changed around, and just about everything else you could imagine, just because a little bit of misjudgment as pace, as Tim has to defend the inside on Brickley. There's 10 minutes to go here in Watkins Glen, so that's 6 or 7 laps to go left in this race here in the States as we head up through the S's in the onboard with Brickley as we head towards the bus stop. Will he be able to put the pressure on to Tim towards the breakers? And I don't think he's going to be close enough, but he's still quick in a straight line in that Bentley, so he's going to use that to just close in as we head into the bus stop. Let's see how much curb he takes. Fourth gear, right curb, but just doesn't quite probably clip enough, but that's just the Bentley understeer for you as through the long outer loop and towards turn number 10, just heavy on the brakes into the chute, and Brickley just falling off the back of Tim a little bit, but I think they're just very different in the way that they drive, and they're quick and slow at different parts of the circuit compared to each other, and that's what's creating them to just close up as much as they are.
100%. But look, the gap's opened a little bit there, so hopefully they can, Brickley can make some space and Tim, sorry, and just get that done, which will likely come if there is a mistake made, which these drivers have seemed to do well to keep out of. But we are moving back to the front, where it has dropped down to 3/10 between the first and second driver. Sonic is still holding the lead since lap 1 of the race. After Shady Samuel did qualify pole position, but the overtake on T1 was too strong for the Bentley, meaning that he held the lead. Ralahi in third, who started actually a bit further back, quite a bit further back, actually. So great race by him to hold it into third. And yeah, looks like the fields mostly stayed the same for the top 5. Maddox moving up from, again, 7th from qualifying, and Underwood moving up nowhere. Underwood's been in 5th since the start. So great racing from all these drivers up at the front right now.
Yeah, and we just see traffic getting out of the way there, and 7.5 minutes to go, sprint race to the end, and yeah, the gap is closer than it has been.
Brickley only a 10th behind Tim right now, so I'm guessing that's getting very, very spicy right there. But we've also only got 4 tenths now between our 2 leaders of the race. But Brickley looks like he's going to go for a move. I do trust you, Carl. I do trust you on that. But it is looking very, very close between Brickley. Still noticing that Audi in the background. It is very unique with its colors, but they have, looks like there's been a little bit of a space made between them, so we'll move back to the front 2, who did only have a 10th between them. This is the time that Shady's just going to be pushing this car to its absolute limits, especially on its almost dead tires. This is definitely where you're going to want to push for that overtake. As we see him just trying to brake later and close that gap up between the 2. Sonic is just holding that position as much as he can. Not much defense needed so far, as there's not been really a dive for the overtake, but they are approaching a blue flag, which could cause a little bit of carnage between the first 2 drivers.
Yeah, and in the dying stages, this is where impatience can creep in. This is where mistakes with lap markers can creep in. But these 2 have been driving absolutely phenomenally as they get past the lapped car. And as we head down towards turn 1, they are separated by only 4 tenths of a second, not even that, as they head down towards the 90 of turn 1, and it is going to be a very intense 5.5 minutes, I'm sure, as we head up through the S's now. And I don't think that Samuel is close enough to go for a move this lap, but he's staying within arm's reach, and he's not going to wait around too much longer, surely. If he wants to go for a move for the lead, it has to be soon. Otherwise, I think it'll just be a little bit too late. But just look at the different lines. It's so fascinating watching 2 drivers, especially in 2 different cars, go at it, and the different ways they drive, and yet they're still achieving what is a very similar lap time, and it's just, yeah, it's really fascinating.
Yeah, these are prime examples of like some of the top drivers that we have in OOR. Just the outright pace in the racecraft between the two. There's no dangerous moves so far made between the two, at least. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see an interesting, very, very close finish between the two. But we are seeing it also close up in that Bentley sandwich, also a little bit back. But I feel like this race is a lot more closer between the first and second. So we'll stick with them.
So as we head towards the long left-hand hairpin in the final sector towards the penultimate corner. These are the trickiest corners on the circuit, at least in my experiences in the McLaren and multiple other cars over the course of my time racing on ACC. I'm not sure. The Bentley and the Mustang look pretty stable, but that also comes down to the caliber of these drivers as we head down towards turn one. More lap cars there. That is the car 7 of Udistira. And now they have a Porsche up in front next. I believe that would be the 222, if I'm not mistaken, as they head up through the S's. And again, I think the gap's just staying pretty stagnant with 3.5 minutes to go, and I think that it's likely that we see an attempt at a move, but I'm not sure how much closer that Mustang's going to be able to get without fully committing to a move.
Yeah, 100%. And look how just close he's getting, especially to the bus stop. Probably just trying to brake as little as possible, or at least brake as late as possible, and get on that throttle as early as he can. And it's just going to be a matter of whether he can keep the car stable, especially with an hour-long use of tyres in a car that is very volatile. But you see the pace drop off. They've gone down from doing 144s, low 144s to low 145s, and that's just that'd be mostly from the tyre degradation as they go around and around this track constantly at high speeds. And we are getting very, very, very close to the final lap of this race, with these two holding it still very close throughout.
Yeah, and these two have just been in an absolute another league compared to the rest of the field. They are 16.5 seconds clear of Relahi in P3, and then another 9 seconds clear back to Maddox as well. So these two have just been driving their own race, driving through the traffic, not battling side by side, but still battling away for the past 60 minutes, and they've ended up in this situation as we head on to, I believe this will be the penultimate lap of this race, and Shady Samuel still chasing tail here of Senakis, as he has been since lap 1, when Senakis went the long way round, 33 long laps ago, and now the roles will try and be reversed as we look on board here with Samuel, who's just trying everything to close in on Senakis. Will we see the reverse of what we saw on lap 1, or will we not see anything at all? It's just all the questions you are asking on a penultimate lap as they head towards the final lap here. A sector and a lap to go as there's traffic here getting involved. Senakis gets a little bit boxed in, and now he's trying to find his way up the inside of the Porsche. Can't find a way through as we head up towards the uphill right-hander. Surely Senakis can find his way through. Yes, he can, and the Mustang of Samuel also gets through. The question is, what's the gap when the dust settles between those lap markers as we head over the sector split at 7/10, and that is a crucial moment here coming onto the final lap of this Watkins Glen 60-minute race.
It would look like that they both got messed up as each other through that blue flag section, both getting held up by two separate different cars, just holding them up just long enough to slow them down, where if only one of them had been caught, could have been pretty much the end of the race. But we still have them very, very close. So anything can happen in this final lap as they enter the final turn of the penultimate and cross the start finish line for the final lap of the race. As they are approaching, we are still seeing, look at that, these blue flags are definitely giving them a bit of slow down, still going faster than a lot of my laps on this track, which is crazy speed to be navigating through traffic and doing that. Still holding 6/10 out on Shady Samuel as we are entering through the S's and arriving on the straight for bus stop. As we're about to hit bus stop, we'll see how much the gap closes through here. And you can just see that difference in braking, but all that matters here is the takeoff and how they handle this turn here. Turn 12, I believe we're at. That doesn't seem right, but whichever turn that was.
Turn 9, I believe.
Turn 9. But this is a, as it is said in chat, this is a driving masterclass for these front two drivers, and it is dropped down to 3/10. Shady Samuel definitely trying to make up that space right now. A little bit of looseness from Peach there at the very front, but it is still a open gap as well. A lot of crazy driving between all of the drivers here today. Holding on strong, it looks like, unless Peach does make a mistake in these final two turns, or this blue flag does block him too much, he will take the win possibly, as we are arriving at the penultimate corner. And it looks like the blue flag has gotten out of the way long enough for both of them to make it through. And all that matters is that they make it through the final turn, which it does look like they do very safely. And that is the win for Peach on race 1 of season 19.
Yep, a very, very good drive there from Senakis to pick up the win, as we see Relahi reading the final corner. But all it took was one move on lap 1 around the outside of Shady Samuel to pick up the victory. And yeah, Peach just absolutely ran away. Well, he didn't run away, but he managed to maintain a consistent gap and use it to his advantage, as we look now to Underwood, who is going to pick up a P4 finish after the penalties are settled. Bartlett is going to get P5, I believe, and then Chalmers gets P7, and we'll see Johnson behind, followed by Samuel. Then we have Hislop in P10 to round out the top 10, as Tim is going to be our AM class winner, as we're still looking at Hislop. He rounds the final corner across the line, but here we go, our AM class winner. We saw a little bit of their battle, but not too much. But after a long 60 minutes, Tim is going to take the victory here in the AM class, followed by Brickley in P2. Then O'Brien getting P3 in the AM class in the McLaren. Then we have Ben Dyke in the very interesting looking Audi getting P14, followed by Macaulay getting P15. Then you have Pano in P16. Then Warren, followed by Rochford in P18. Then you have Bluff, Asplin, Udistira, Real, Rashuti, Clopper, Braid, Brownett, Bolt, and
a lot of drivers.
Yeah,
holding out at the end of the race.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers. So,
but now we get our actual look at the leaderboard for the top drivers of each class as well. Just gonna wait a second for the things to figure themselves out. And here we go. We'll have a quick look right here. So, of course, Sonic is taking the win, followed by Shady Samuel and Relahi. That is our top 3 for the actual overall race and pro. Silver, we have Bartlett, Maddox, Johnson. That's our top 3 for Silver. The top 3 for Pro Am are Underwood, R. Samuel, and Chalmers. Even with that 15-second penalty, still able to hold the top 3 for Silver. And we move over to Am. We have Tim, Brickley, and O'Brien. Those 3 racing hard for the whole race. That was an incredible race by those 3, and good to see them out on the track. And that is, I believe, it for tonight's races. Is there anything you wanted to say to end us off, Lindsay?
Oh, no. Oh yeah, driver of the day. I mean, it might seem a little bit obvious, but I think Peach managing to just control the race out in the lead after getting a brilliant move on lap 1. I'd give him my driver of the day, as he was able to just hold off such immense pressure behind from Samuel.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it's between those two. The Samuel and Sonicus, just their race up at the front just showed the amount of integrity that those two have, and consistency to hold their pace up at the front with very little mistakes. And yeah, they've done really well. So I'd say they're probably at least the 2 I'd put in contention for driver of the day. And yeah, so that is it for Simrigs Sprint Series Season 19 first race, round 1, Watkins, Glen. It has been I, Jaden Rondinella, and Lindsay Muddle in the comms booth for tonight. Yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you all next week.